Welcome to Channel Devonity, the only show where a bunch of less than desirables drink copious amounts of cider and play Dungeons and Dragons.
In
the heart of Devon.
I'll see if that's how keen we are.
How are we all doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct answer.
Yeah. Doing all right, I suppose.
All good.
Okay, great.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Cool.
Living the dream.
We never asked about it yesterday.
Cool.
Trying to do this shit intro each time.
You're nailing it.
So you did it one this time.
You did it
Doing
very
right.
well. I'm very proud.
Friday,
We're going to have to step up our game.
yeah, gonna have to
I
wind you
know,
up.
I did do it in one. I was quite proud of myself.
Gonna wind you up.
I just had a little smile inside, but didn't want to show it.
Never again.
Coming to Patreon soon. Chris's intro outtakes.
Yeah, they might. I am keeping them. Obviously, tonight we are not joined by Nads. You might see that he's missing from the lineup, and he's had some things he needs to step away for, and we're really hoping that he will return shortly. So we miss you, buddy. We can't wait for you to come back.
Yeah, still edit our sound for us.
Yes.
We can't do it
We've just
ourselves.
got elbow room now.
We'll keep you in our hearts, but we are enjoying the more space.
Heartfelt words. With that in mind, let's play Dungeons and Dragons. Let's play Channel Devonity. Welcome back to Channel Devonity. So, previously, where did we get you guys?
We had an airship fall out of the sky.
Casual terrorism.
Finally arrived at Jadizra.
Yes.
Yeah, we got there.
Pulled up in our fancy wagon.
Yeah, parked it in a not so fancy place, but that's fine.
But the guy seems sound.
wholesome.
He seems
He's
sound.
wholesome.
Yeah,
So-
very reasonable rates.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said we're happy to sleep there overnight, which is a big bonus to the old budget.
Save somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jadizra, as it turns out, is like a series of big floating platforms, and each of them seem to be for different
really-
There'll
things.
be cable cars in.
Yeah,
it's a
cable
really
cars in between.
dodgy looking cable cars. holding
Yeah.
it all
Some of
together.
which work and some of which don't, which is more like a labyrinth now. for
Yeah.
us.
So we can't get down to, is it called like the dregs or something?
The dregs.
We can't
So,
get
yeah.
down there.
Love
So
that.
we made our way up to
Trade.
the trade
Trading
plateau.
plateau.
Trade plateau.
The trade plateau.
Where many goods were on offer.
Yeah, there was some nice looking fruit.
There's
Everything in
really
Edinburgh
dirty.
could
Strawberry watermelon,
Yeah, it's delish. Sounds delish. And then, I guess because we were there, everything started exploding.
Everything's like going to hell.
Yeah, it's totally your fault.
Yeah.
It's like they're magnetised to us airships.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
go, oh look, it's them again.
Massive Hindenburgs going on all around
Yeah,
us.
so there was some kind of huge blimp thing. We get the impression that here, maybe just here, maybe everywhere, I don't know, but water is like privatised or something, which the people seem to have an issue with, which is kind of fair enough. So I think what we saw was some kind of like, terrorist attack where it was people making some kind
From a
of
certain point of view.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed to be people making a statement about this water not belonging to the people.
Seeing wingsuits for the first time. Which
Yeah,
are,
wingsuits. Crazy.
yeah.
And then we saw someone just totally cash, no worries, just like kind of drop on a rope out of this exploding ship, land in the street, and then just walk into the pub, cool
Just,
style.
just
Little
casually meander into the pub as we save the people.
Yeah, those people fell out the sky.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll deal with those. You casually walk into the pub.
You saved a life, Norm, didn't you?
Oh, you saved a life.
Yeah, you saved a life. You got to use your
I
finally got to
return
use
thing.
my rape of return.
Saved a life. There we go. Mouthful of Marmite. That's all.
And I think we left it just casually about to walk into the tavern.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
you badly
everyone
need a
seems
drink
to be
after this.
okay
Really
with
hoping
this.
it's a Weatherspoon.
I'm definitely getting 3 plates. I'm getting 3 plates.
3 small plates.
Get that pizza, roll it as a calzone, cut it in half, eat as a wrap.
Let's get a picture on the
Filthy
go.
tactics over there.
Think about it.
A couple of turbo shandies will be well
I
away.
missed
Yeah.
something.
Are we gonna get Weatherspoons as a sponsor? Is this how we
mention it,
sell
doesn't
out?
mean-
Well,
We're gonna get-
he started in Devon.
Oh, great. Did he?
The
Yeah.
Imperials, the first one.
I don't know
Was it
if we
really?
want them as a sponsor.
First one, biggest one.
I don't know.
I didn't realise there was politics behind this.
There
Sorry,
is a bit
Chrissy.
of.
Oh yeah, he's a monster. But think about it. That means we've got a genuine monster.
Oh,
working
that is
for
true.
us.
He could be the
I don't know how
final
many
boss.
Oh my
sponsors
god,
you
so like when we defeat him, we can have his head mounted on the wall.
I know all his pubs.
Coming to a Weatherspoons
Coming for you,
near
Mr.
you.
Martin. Revenge for laughing at me during that one shit.
Okay, before we get sued, let's move on.
Yeah,
like
cool.
cut a little bit, yeah.
I'll get him.
So we're going into the non-specific tavern.
Okay,
Yes.
that's where we're going to take it from.
Weary Wanderer?
Traveller.
So close.
Traveller.
So
Weary
close.
Traveller. Alright,
No,
well,
that's
I'll,
part of the other franchise.
I'll just see myself out
We don't
there.
talk about that one.
Not the time.
It's a harvester.
Never mix up the Weary Wanderer and the Weary Traveller. One's amazing and the other's shit.
Yep. Bad reviews.
Right. Yeah, so we're on our way in.
Okay, let's take it from there then. As you pushed open the doors, you were immediately hit with a pungent mix of tobacco smoke, stale ale, and sizzling meats dripping in goose fats. Quite nice for the senses after your travels and the hungry gurgling in your stomachs. The tavern was ablaze with fire, but not from an airship.
Oh look, there appears to be a turbine propeller just sticking through the ceiling.
Everyone is okay with it.
That's not a pig on the spit. That's an actual person.
One guy dead and everyone else around him just drinking. Like, yeah,
Happens all the time.
standard Tuesday.
Well, I got bingo.
Terrorist
on Gary.
Tuesday.
Terrorist Tuesday.
Oh, he's cheap drinks on Terrorist Tuesday.
Their insurance must be incredible.
It is, we'll get to that. The shadows were chased back by fire sprite lamps and a ruckus of voices packed with drunks and market stall owners cutting shady deals in equally shadowy corners. Flagons of ale, steins of beer, bottles of shimmering golden wine, and pungent smelling dark oil. The local liquor of choice in Judizra flowed freely throughout the building's 3 levels, carried upon bronze trays by buxom ale maidens hiding their faces with flimsy face coverings. Notes of music crawled through the rooms as a spindly, brightly garbed performer blew uplifting melodies, with his trusty oboe and bellowed salacious desert shanties, full of intrepid adventure and romance throughout the room. You saw a large turtle then. Even by most standards, he was commanding the ears of his staff, bellowing orders. I need 3 more ales in table 5, Mazzara, and table 11 wants their whole fowl 5 minutes ago, Ginny. Come on, people. We're a little down on staff tonight, but we've got to come through. Pull together. Come on. The turtle was of a bright red hue. Yellow-orangish sun-blemish patches adorned his skin, and a yellow eye patch was tied via yellow fabric. A pipe hung from one corner of his mouth, red embers glowing through the tobacco, and protruding from the interior of his hard brown shell was a chain that seemed to be linked and loop inside, hanging onto a huge flagon of ale. He was literally a walking bar.
Awesome.
Occasionally you see him turn back to another of the busy patrons demanding drink, yank a tankard from behind and turn the tap on his casket, beginning to fill the tankard and sliding it back to the patron with a chair. Hey! It was then that you saw a flurry of barmaids as they rushed past, trays in hands, full of tankards and sizzling meaty platters, placed down in front of equally thirsty and hungry patrons, all desperately chowing down into the exquisite grub, that you noticed that in the centre of this tavern was a huge 5-tiered open oven. Grills stacked atop one another, and the chef, a very large beige-skinned minotaur, wearing a blue bandana around his head, furiously turning various implements, skewers that spiked an assortment of meats, and a huge mammox grazer, which was a kind of a mix between a rhino and a mammoth, that seemed to be impaled on a spiked skewer behind him, turning furiously as the furnace let out its heat.
Sounds a bit delicious.
It does.
The Minotaur called out as one of the serving maids came past. "Ginny, table 70's ready for you." And as the barmaid came rushing over, she collected the plates and rearranged them on her tray before heading to the next flow of hungry customers. She wiped a bead of sweat from her brow before she hefted her silks up a little around her waist and began the grueling task of slipping through the throngs of people lined up around the meat box. You laid your eyes upon a long walnut wooden bar stretched one side of a common room as patrons flocked around the countertop, loudly shouting for more drink, while a group of mixed gamblers were huddled away in a nearby hidey hole, rowdy remarks and clanging of coin as the stakes were raised. A very tall and burly dark-skinned man dressed in black robes gave you all a nod as you passed through the doorway. You were getting used to the bouncers now as an ever-present force in Bavesca. "No trouble. And
Think you
you'll
find
have
the
a nice
troubles
pleasant
outside?
stay." He glanced out the doorway then. "Yeah, we've heard about that. A few of the patrons came through shouting about the commotion, but what can we do? Apart from stay here and drink."
I like your attitude, sir.
Or do something about the terrorists, or I don't know.
Who knows, but I don't care. As long as you make no trouble in here, you could carry on all you like.
Will be no trouble. We promise.
Fair enough.
If anything, we'll go and save more lives.
Yeah, we're like the opposite of trouble.
Alright, on your way.
Thanks.
You slip through the busy mass of patrons then, and you spot a table that was just becoming free as a group of merchants, one rotund, wobbling from his stool as the rest of his group threw arms around his drunken self. Easy up, you'll be up. Come on. And they help prop him up as they march past you then, and out into the streets of a trade quarter.
I'm making a beeline for that table.
Okay. You begin to make a beeline for the table, heading towards and literally sliding into the seats. And as you see another set of adventurers, merchants, you're not sure, who are making their way towards the table, sort of turn around then and go, yeah. We'll get the next one, lads, come on. And they begin to move off towards the bar. You see, opposite you in the table, the same halfling that had been sliding down the rope outside, happily with a very large tankard of drink of some description, sipping on it casually and nonchalantly.
Might you be who we saw outside?
I'm sorry?
Might you be the person we saw outside?
I don't know what's going on outside.
Interesting tactic. Alright.
Might you also be a person who is also a person out of game that could quickly tell the people at home your name and such?
You're right, absolutely right. You haven't even introduced yet, so yeah, please introduce yourself to the
Yeah,
audience.
so I'm Amaryllis. I'm a small halfling.
No, out of game. Who are you, person?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Nothing to do with any of you. I'm a new person.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a handle you go by?
A handle.
Rachel.
Like a suitcase.
Yeah.
Or a drawer.
Yeah. Well, if you want to be known as suitcase or drawer, we can arrange that.
Whatever you
No.
prefer.
No, I'm Rachel, but a lot of you might know me as Sparkle. Or Miss Pop.
That's adorable. Love it.
Well, fair enough.
Love it.
Sparkle and Miss Pop it is.
Well, there you go. So, welcome to the show properly.
Thank you.
It was a good entrance.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Well,
Back in the game.
so you weren't the person we saw abseiling? Descending? Falling with grace?
Falling with style.
Star, that sounds really good. No.
No.
It couldn't have been me. I've been here all
Strange.
this time.
You almost look identical to that person.
You haven't
Right.
got a twin, have you?
No.
They look like the same person.
No. Sorry.
Wait, I am completely lost right now. She definitely was the one that came out of that blue.
That is very observant of you, Norm.
Yeah.
You're getting more observant by the day, my friend.
Yes.
Um,
Speaking of observations, why is that cow stood up?
well, the skin.
Yeah, I know, right? I was gonna ask the same thing. This place is fucking weird.
It is rather unusual.
Glancing over to the
got
standing
pimple
cow,
hats.
you can see his very large muscle physique, his huge ebony horns, and he slammed down his cleaver, just slicing up the mammocks with ease.
So is it a full carcass that's just rotating?
Yeah, it's literally a full
So
carcass. and
how
just
big is it? Is like
As big as it's literally as big as a rhino. Yeah,
He's a big boy.
absolutely huge.
Isn't a rhino like 2 tons?
Yeah, like
Yes.
big. Yeah.
I highly recommend you cut it down before. Like,
These are questions Beth left unanswered.
They took the window out.
You know what the answer is?
you can tell the
That's what
DM.
the answer
Back
is.
in.
You can tell the DM's a vegan when I'd highly recommend you cut it down before putting it on a spit because that centre is going to be
I
fucking
know. As a vegan, I want you to see your food.
Would be like
Yeah, you
empty or
can't play this game with me. I'd punch a pig to death for a bacon sandwich. I would punch it to death.
like,
I'd look at his dog
Cooking
clever
on you.
face and I'd just be like,
Too much fat on him. That's the problem.
just quickly.
Yes.
I'm not much for math. We're missing someone.
Are we?
my roommate.
No, Norm's right there.
Hi!
Where's Moss?
You glance around then when you realise that where you're fairly sure Moss came in the tavern with you seems to be missing.
Could I?
Table. You haven't heard his very
Can you what? Sorry.
Can't fear Torm's dying!
At this point, you realise there's been a
He's
mass
got
poisoning.
See why they're all wearing masks?
Oh,
Jesus.
apparently David can't survive without hats.
That's it.
This is how much I love it. Yes, I swear he came in with us.
He did.
He's not under a table robbing someone, is he?
He's not a squirrel again, is he?
I
I
don't.
mean, that happened before.
You haven't seen our rather small fellow. Great,
Goblin.
cutesy, one would say.
Bit of a
Bit shouty though. Might call you a bastard.
bit of a potty mouth.
Armed to the teeth.
I
Yes.
did notice.
You might notice him.
What did you
Oh,
notice?
you were going to say you previously saw him when you were sliding down as a bit.
we
yes,
got you.
Yes, we got you. Nice one. Mark that down as a win. So
Put it on the box.
I take the monocle out of the top pocket
Okay.
and have a look for Marcel.
It's not a drinking game. You don't have to drink if you lose.
Oh, baby, I can see Moss.
Hiding behind the blanket.
You can see Moss.
Yeah, I can see him. I can see him wherever he is.
What'd you get?
Well, I'll tell you a second when I get my sheet out. It's a 19 plus 7, so 16.
26.
So it's 16. Where did your maths go?
26! I told you my math wasn't very good. I wasn't lying.
Oh, that was Indian.
Turns out he's got the monocle on backwards.
Just burn out my retinas. Oh God!
So you pick up some.
Perception.
So you pick up
perception.
from where you are at the table. You can pick up tracks that seems to suggest that Moss came as far as halfway towards the table.
What? And then he's gone.
And then you can see, which looks like, you basically stand up from the table and begin to assess the tracks you can see. You can see, it looks like a kind of, like the feet were dragged. And they lead outside the tavern doors.
Oh, you didn't think the bouncer kicked him out, did you?
Well, it has been known.
I would have thought he'd have been louder.
He's rather abrupt. Would you like
I'll
to?
go and have a word.
Let's not cause
I'll get up and
let's not
walk
cause
up to
too
the
much
bouncers
ruckus,
again.
just in case he has been kicked out.
Okay, you head towards the same bouncer that bid you such a nice welcome. Arms crossed over. He looks your way.
Excuse me, fella. We seem to have lost one of my compatriots here. Small green fella, bit shouty, bit angry. You wouldn't have happened to see him, would you?
I see nothing, no.
Right.
Doesn't seem like anyone I've seen.
Right. Well, he definitely came in here, as far as we're aware.
Nah, I saw you. Saw your friends come in. Didn't see, what'd you say he looked like?
Green, small, purple hair, bit shouty.
I don't recall. How tall was he?
What,
Maybe I didn't see him at all. Nah, I didn't see nothing.
Well, if we do see him, can you send him our way?
Yeah.
Or if you hear of anyone who has seen him?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll keep my eyes out for a green thing for you. Yeah.
Much obliged. Oh, they're back to the table. Yeah, he ain't seen him.
Rather peculiar then. I'm sat at the table, aren't I?
Yeah, you're also at the table. So
Okay, if you've walked up, I'm going to go back to the bouncer. I'm going to be just to follow up my friend's question. You haven't seen anybody leave since we've entered.
There's been a couple of patrons that have gone. Yeah, there was a bunch of drunks a minute ago that got walked out.
So no one in a large cape, someone could have been hidden away.
Well, I see lots of people with large capes. Just, you know, I mean, look around you. And he motions to the rest of the tavern. Then you see lots of people with long
draping
cloaks,
clothes,
long drapes. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tuck my head out the door, see if I can see him, like being dragged up the street or hear him at least.
Okay. You open the door then and glance out. Give me an investigation actually this time.
Is that on one dice or two with the monocle? It's investigation. That's only perception, isn't it?
It gives you, it only gives you advantage of perception.
That's better anyway. Investigation 24.
Okay. So, popping your head outside, you can see which looks like further tracks, and you do pick up on. It looks like a kind of a piece of ribbon that was dropped. That you know that Moss carries various fabrics, ribbons, bandanas. It looks like something that he had that's been dropped on the floor.
Okay.
But you can see that tracks look like they continue further down the road. Looking a little bit closer, you can see that it looks as though there were two other individuals
that were with him.
Yeah. And from what you can tell on the tracks, it looks like his tracks are his heels, as if he was dragged.
He's being dragged. Okay. Head back inside the tavern. Make over the table. It looks like our compatriot might have been in a spot above it. It seems to have been dragged away.
Oh!
Someone's taken Moss.
Yes.
Right, there we go.
Yeah, it might be not worth staying for a drink. It was a pleasure to meet you. Can I ask what you are by trade?
Well, I've sort of messed myself up a little bit, so maybe it was me that came down, but just keep it to yourselves. I'm a rogue.
Right.
Sort of sneaky, finding. Right, excellent. You're coming with us.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, splendid. Take one to find one, you know.
Yes.
That all that is.
Just right, pick up a rope.
brand new rogue as soon as our previous rogue was kidnapped.
I got a brand new.
I got a brand new confines officer. And the rogues.
So, yes. Yeah, just make our way back out.
Hang on a second. Can I just get an ale to go?
Just a takeaway cup. I'll go outside and then I'm going to see direction and orientation.
Okay. So you head out, and it looks like it's as you come out the door, it's a right down the street, and it seems to continue on.
Okay.
Do you want to keep following the trail?
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to.
Nah, just it's fine.
You continue following the trail, all of you, and it leads down for a good 5 minutes, and then you see it takes another right turn down what appears to be an alleyway.
Okay. What's down the alley?
The alleyway itself, you can see various crates and boxes, very dark shadows that kind of create very dark areas and corners where one potentially could hide. It's a very
Hide or
unlit
could
alleyway.
die.
Hide.
Oh, hide. Good.
Okay.
Lovely. Yeah.
Well, this is nice and shady, isn't it?
Yes, tis rather. Just take the musket out, check it's loaded, and then just down the alley.
Yeah, Fenrir will be with you, hammer
Yeah.
in hand.
Okay.
Stick.
You begin to head down the alleyway. You continue to track. As it gets darker, it becomes a bit more difficult to track now. There's a moment where a pile of trash just falls over, and you see this rat just run out and just heads down the alleyway. But then there's nothing else. You continue further stepping through tiny puddles of vomit, piss, all kinds
Nice.
of
A proper
What a
alleyway.
Savoury
charming
things.
place.
A proper alleyway.
Sick. Awesome.
And
Sick, bro.
you can see the last Saturday night remains. A good night's out
Yeah.
in the corner.
Is there a kebab before?
Yeah,
Half eaten. Someone's dropped it.
yeah. And you can see the alleyway begins to give way to a light source as you. It seems it's going to bring you out to another side of the street in the trade quarter.
Okay. We'll follow it out, see if anybody's like dashing away with moss.
Okay. You quickly follow it out, and you head into another street. This long section of street, left and right, it's like a T-junction. It's filled with people. Lots and lots of merchants.
Crowded merchants.
Yeah. It seemed like another part of the market. The tracks themselves, you can see there's another pickup of tracks, so of his shuffling feet. It looks like at this point he was walking, where his actual goblinoid feet, but there's still the other pair of two sets of boots. They seem to be veering off to the left, further down the street.
Okay.
Yeah, you continue fighting through the throng of people, trying to pick out where the tracks were, and eventually you come to which looks like the tracks just stop. Give me a perception.
You can have guidance on that.
Thank you. And I'll use my monocle.
Yeah.
It's D4. Yes. Oh, that was alright. Got 3 out of it, so that was about too bad. 26.
Okay, so where the tracks stop, you can see. It looks like there is tracks of another kind.
Wagon.
Wagon wheels. It's a large,
Can I see a wagon?
very oblongish area. Looking down the street, you can't see any wagon.
Is there anyone walking towards us from that direction?
There's lots of people walking that way.
Can I just kind of flag someone and say, excuse me, sorry to bother you. You haven't seen a wagon going in that direction, have you?
You come across a very red-skinned kobold. that way. I've seen a few.
As in, like, literally minutes ago?
There was a wagon that was hurtling down that way. Well, I
tell
barely
us?
got out with that. I almost got it.
Oh, can you tell us anything about it? The colours?
Oh, it had, I don't know, thinking back to it, it had like two emblazoned wolf's heads on the other side of the wagon. It was, I think it was made out of a mix of metal and wood. I don't know, it was such a rush. Those horses, it sent shivers down my spine.
Horses, or was it Sandstrikers?
Yeah, it was horses.
Horses, right.
They were black horses.
Black horses.
Thank you very much for your information.
That's great
sir.
information. Thanks a lot, fella.
I give the small kobold a coin. Give him a little gold coin.
Oh, okay. Takes the coin. That's mighty kind of you. Bloody real too.
Much appreciated.
He begins to wander off back into the crowd.
Which one's?
We ain't got many of them.
Which one of you's
Give 'em a fucking
tallest?
cobber.
Are you taller or Norm taller?
Fenrir's taller.
Fenrir's
Right.
fucking massive.
Right. I ask for a leg up and I stand one foot in your hand, 1 foot on your shoulder.
Right.
Do you want me to roll for that?
Acrobatics.
Yeah, please.
Do I need to do anything? Does it just need to be strong?
Need to be
Stand
strong.
place.
14?
Yeah, you are able to lift and hoist up.
And I stand
And
like
just
one
stand up. Yeah.
foot on your shoulder, 1 foot in his hand. I look down to see if I can see the car, if the street veers one way or the other.
Okay. You glance down the street, and you can't see any sign of the wagon.
No.
Let's go.
You,
Is
see
it-
a lot of
is it
you can
straight-
see a lot of bobbling heads of the throngs of various people on market stalls, but you can't see any sign of a wagon.
I was just thinking it might have been an idea because between me and you, I'm probably like 18 foot in the air.
I thought you were going to do a massive totem stand.
yeah, all of us, yeah.
Does those emblazoned wolf heads mean anything to anyone? Is that a symbol that anyone recognises?
Oh, there's no one on Wolfers.
Did you check anyone?
I would say Amaryllis is the only one.
Right.
Give me a history.
Three. No, she knows nothing.
What's your history?
+0. Yeah, I did.
3.
Yeah.
You can't recall anything of any wagons with wolves' heads.
Is there any city guard around?
Not at this stage. Not that you can see down this throng at the moment. This back alley.
Because I imagine that's going to be the best place to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then our friend's been kidnapped. This is what we know.
I get down from Fenrir. We have lost our friend. I know there were town's guard by the inn we've just left. It's also full of people.
The only way off of this plateau is those cable cars.
True.
If we get to the cable cars quickly, we might.
The only other option is he's still here.
Yeah.
What if he's been put on their shit?
Then it will inevitably crash out of the sky. And we should find them in a burning pile
then
somewhere.
we'll find him on the way,
In
yes.
which case, we just go outside and
Yeah, just wait.
Well, the only thing I could think is, do we go back to the inn and see if people there know?
it's worth a try asking anyone if they
Because we could always ask the town guard while we're there.
I mean, wherever he was in, it's
it's-
long gone.
It's up to consensus, really.
Whoever these people, wherever they are, they obviously know their way around the city.
Another thing is
Better than we
he
do.
does know where we're parked.
Yeah,
So if he
If he's
was
escaped, he might
if he
go
was
back.
going to make his return, at least he has somewhere safe to go.
yeah.
It's worth a try. Should we go back to the tavern first and see if anyone knows anything, then we'll head back?
Head back to the
To the
cart,
wagon, yeah.
see if he's there.
Because we're going to have to pass.
I guess
the cable
anyone
cars
that
there
leaves
anyway.
Jadidra would have to leave
Through
that
that
way.
Yeah, we can ask at the gate, see if anyone's a certain wagon like that has made an exit.
Yeah, they do check everyone on the.
I mean,
You've got to pay a fee on the way
that's
up.
the point. All of the wagons have got to be registered, right?
Yeah.
So if we go to whoever the person that registers all the wagons and say, do you have one registered called like that? They might be able to tell us who it belongs to.
They all get stopped on the way out, don't they? Didn't they say that you've got to pay a fee on the way out?
Well, we had to give over our licence for ours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's worth a try.
Okay. We can go back to the tavern for some information.
Walk back through the alley. Another rat just runs out.
yeah.
Rat with a knife to stand again. Give me your money.
The place is bloody swarming as I just blow it away with a musket. The place is bloody swarming.
You head back down the alleyway, and soon enough you get back to the tavern.
Okay.
As you pass the bouncer, looks over. Any luck finding your friend?
No.
No. You might know this better than most, actually. He seems to have been taken away in a cart. It's got a wolf head design on the side.
Twin wolf heads, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wolf heads.
Would have been a metal and wooden cart. Probably roofed, like canopy.
Drawn by black horses, apparently.
No, I can't say I've heard of that before.
Well, if you
Can I get an insight check on that?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
Because he looks a bit shady, if you ask me. No, I do not trust him.
I wasn't sure I trusted him when he's not seeing anything either.
25. I know if you're lying. Or...
It doesn't matter, he is.
coming
It
in
looks
at
like
that.
he's potentially withholding something.
Look, we'll make it worth your while if you tell us all you know.
Yes, would it be a conversation we could have
Elsewhere?
elsewhere when you're not working, perhaps?
Maybe some... might change hands?
I finished my shift in about 5 hours.
Right. Well, if we can meet you back here in 5 hours' time,
You meet me back in 5 hours and we'll talk.
and then maybe we can have a conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Swindler. Right then.
We've got a lead. That's the main.
Yes.
Should we go back and check our wagon?
Yes. Are we worth going to check the cable cars and then go back to the wagon?
Yeah, we could do a loop on the way, because we've got to go that way anyway.
While we're here, would you like to grab something for our small friend?
Yes.
Splendid. If we grab a drink here quickly, because I'd imagine it's going to be a rather long night, we're going to get some food for all of us and our acquaintance.
Oh, I get you.
So, I'm guessing there still isn't space at a table anyway,
So
because we left and I imagine it was taken.
it looks like someone else has taken up space.
Right.
There is like a smaller table which has less seating on it, but it does look as though you would be able to squeeze in.
I think we'll just cram in that one.
Okay, so you kind of cram on and cram in and just like squeeze over and budge, and you see like a few other individuals as a very large orc. He kind of like, sorry, moves over a little bit and just gives you guys a little bit of space. It's sort of very cosy on this.
Fenrir's going to remain standing so you can keep an eye on what's going on. He's uneasy.
Don't want to lose anyone else.
Yeah.
I walk up to a barmaid.
As you walk up to the barmaid, you see a woman dressed in red fabrics. They're almost transparent, but thick enough to cover her modesty.
Don't tell him that.
She turns around to acknowledge you as you head towards her, and he idly slips her face covering from one corner of her face, offering a very bright and radiant smile your way. Black strands spill either side of her sunburnt face, and her exotic beauty was exemplified by the sprite lamps hanging nearby. Well, welcome to the Weary Traveller. I'm Ginny. How can I help?
I'm not very good at this. We've just taken a seat over there. Would I be pressed to ask you if we could get some table service?
Oh, you said it. I'll be right over.
Thank you. I turn around and I'm just like... I just like, get back to the table.
I'm just going to be saying.
Yeah, I get back to the table, I'm like... I think today we've had enough panic for 1 minute, but I didn't breathe through the entire conversation.
We're proud of you. That was a bold
That's the
move.
most I've ever seen you talk to.
Ah, that was incredible.
Press yourself.
I am sweating quite a lot.
Do you have a problem speaking with women then?
Yes, for some reason, bar staff
Yeah, barmaids is his thing.
seems to. The thing is, it wasn't overly common from my homeland, because we were more rural.
What? Who served the ale in your place?
Well, actually, we were more like a communion, sort of a colony. There wasn't really servers. We more just tended to everyone.
Right. You're not in one of those weird cults, are you?
Yes, I'm Amish.
What? It's not like they're going to watch.
It's not like they're going to watch.
Oh, right.
They weren't going to watch it. He's got you there, Chris.
Oh dear.
I'll do a few moments.
After a few minutes, Ginny comes back.
Ginny heads over to your table. Arms outstretched.
I'm really enjoying Rumspringer.
Welcome to the Weary Traveller. I'm Ginny. I believe one of your acquaintances has already met me, and I'll be at your service this evening. Sorry for the delay. It's been a little bit busy here tonight. Now, what can I get you? Ales, wines, spirits, freshly spit roasted boar. Maybe some of that lovely mammox hanging up.
Spit roast. Norm is sobbing, and he's going to say, "What would you recommend for someone who's just lost his friend?"
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. How long had you owned him?
What? What?
I assumed you meant
The pet.
a pet.
Oh, our friend Moss he's a goblin and he's missing.
Oh.
So much snot.
I'm
So much.
Snot bubbles.
I'm still so uncomfortable.
Oh, careful, my
Right
nuts
my
on his
damn
face.
hands.
Maybe something strong for him. I think he's a bit emotional at the moment.
Coming right up.
Some sort of whiskey or something. I think that would do the trick for him.
We also have our blackberry stout, or
That sounds
yeah,
good to me.
that's
we have a honey spit, which is like a flavoured vodka. Speciality here.
Well, after this morning,
I'll have one of them,
one
please.
Honey spit.
Chaser.
Okay.
What you after, Ranger?
Danger.
If we could just get a selection like a platter of food.
I could,
Platter of meats. Coming right
I
up.
think I'm going to grab one of those honey.
Honey spits?
Yes.
Okay, sure. It's going to be around about about 4 gold, 5 gold.
I go into the pouch we have for the collective.
Thank you very much.
I have to hold it like this because my hands are very damp.
He just takes the coins and then you sort of just like wondering why they're so clammy, but puts it into the little leather satchel on her waist.
Just one last thing.
Yes.
That bouncer over there. What's his story?
Oh, Droove. He's a bouncer. He usually keeps an eye for most of us. Seems to know his way about town.
That's all. Just we were having a nice chat with him earlier. It was all. He seemed like a nice fella. Seemed like he knows all kinds of people.
Aye, if you needed to know anything, he's probably the one to speak around here.
Right, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks for that.
Alright, I'll be right back. Oh, one more thing. Do you need a room, Adora? We've got a few rooms available, but they're going quick.
I think we're all right for now.
I think we're fine. Thank you very much.
Just flying through. Okay, right back. And she spins on a heel and heads off into the kitchens.
Cool.
Well, at least we got his name.
Fenrir's gonna go and find the toilets. Please. Please.
Please, sir. Please, sir. Please.
Please.
You
if that's okay.
You head up and you
You just get
It's kind of a bit
I need to pee.
Yeah, excuse me.
it's a bit further at the back, but you find a little cubicle, and you manage to slip into. It's a very tiny cubicle, just as another orc individual had just finished. He walks out and just gives you a nod. And
Day,
heads
my
out
friend.
to the throng of people in the tavern.
thought you were going to say there was a throng of people in the cubicle.
A throng of people.
1,000 people all sharing one loop.
There's weird noises coming from one of the cubicles. There's a hole in the side of it.
So, Fenrir's the only one in there, right?
Glad to
See you,
I hope.
give me a perception test.
Ooh, rolling a dice. Here we go.
Ooh.
Awesome. That's not too bad. Perception. We'll get +2 on that. 19.
Maybe you'll finally get to join us in a fight with those dice.
Okay, so you glance around and you try each of the doors, and it seems that you are alone.
Okay, lovely.
There's that horrible smell of like piss and sweat and
pub,
beer
toilet.
all mixed in.
One of the best
Right.
toilets around them.
Just gonna check. Squiggles.
Not like Weatherspoon's toilets.
I'm gonna put my foot in front of the door. Big heavy boot in front of the door and get Squiggles up. Hey, buddy.
Okay, it just had this big beaming smile. It's like,
Squiggles says magic baby. Tell me what Squiggles looks like, you bastard.
oh, well, okay.
Oh yeah, I guess
You're
yeah.
right.
Okay,
You're right.
Squiggles.
I was going to leave her in
Have I followed you to
a
the
sort of
bathroom?
mystery, but no, absolutely.
No, I've gone to the
You
boys'
don't know anything
toilet.
about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Squiggles yet.
So
No.
as you hold Squiggles up with this beaming smile on its very fey-like face, its huge beaming black eyes glint at you as it takes you in. You see the little tiny small arms. It's white skin. It's slightly haunched feet, but still again completely pale and white as the rest of its skin, with tiny little colourful markings on various parts of the body. Little white tail, just hands at the back, and where it would have hair, it seems to be long tendrils that are also like kind of multicoloured.
Oh. Sounds like my dog. I want to spray paint her now.
Why not?
If the RSPCA is watching, we're going to deal with this in house, don't we?
All right, just checking Squiggles is okay and that he was still there. Okay, you're doing good, buddy. We've had a bit of an emergency and we've lost Moss. I'm gonna get you some tasty food. We can't lose you, okay? It's really, really important that you stick with me. Is that okay? Good boy. Okay, I'll get you some tasty food in a minute, okay? Okay, get him back and cozy.
You see, it just sort of snuggles back into your.
He's got a little spot there now. Okay. Sort out my armour, make sure I'm looking good. Back out.
You head back out. As you're heading back out, you pass two individuals that you overhear. You hear one of them say, "Whoa, what do you call yours?" The other one looks up. "Oh, what do you mean?" "What? That big birdie bastard just called his Squiggles." "What do you mean he called it Squiggles?" "I heard him. He said it was Squiggles." "What? As in down? Yes, down there. I've never really thought of a name for mine, really." "Ah, that's bloody interesting." And they both like head into the cubicle.
Excellent.
All together?
Right, where's our glory on?
This is the one. You just been in there.
Okay, back to the table.
Okay.
Everything in order?
Yep.
I just had a thought while you were
Everything's okay? Yep.
away
Would
there.
you push the poop out of your body, Kurt?
Yes, Norm.
I just had a thought before we get
Yes.
back to the wagon. Maybe we could do a bit of a drawing,
Maybe we could.
if you know what I mean.
I love art.
Oh!
Aha! Yep.
What?
We'll talk about that when we get out of here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll try that later on, shall we?
Yes, probably a good idea.
Not drawing with the paper.
Yeah, but by the way, we're really into art. Let's just stop it.
I can draw
I'm
a
looking
circle.
around. I'm guessing
Wow.
Jenny is still sort of flitting about.
Yeah, so you see Ginny coming from the kitchens then and heading back towards your table. There's holding two copper platters, each with an array of drinks, tankards, glasses.
Okay.
And she sets them down then. "Ah, here you go, just as you called." And she puts them down one by one, hands you your tankards and your drinks.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
They need to be right over too. Hold on. And she heads straight back into the kitchen again.
Yep. Down one.
It's quenching your thirst after such a journey. It's probably the first drink you've had for quite a while. Actually.
Been a while.
Proper drink.
So is this honey spit more like a liqueur then?
Yeah, so it's like a liqueur.
It's like a shot.
Yeah, not quite a shot, a bit more than a shot, but yeah, enough to.
Sipping drink, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a shot to family.
Is it sort of like along the lines of like a Downs and gin, something like that, something a bit sweet and like treacly?
Yes, it's very sweet.
Only there was some sort of alcohol that we could use as a rough guide that was made of honey.
Or mead.
It's not quite mead. It's got more of a it's got more of a vodka texture to it than mead. But
Okay.
Oh, I was going to think it's more like
So it's like when you take mead and you just
Something
pour it down
Daniel's
into a
honey
rich
flavour.
syrup.
yeah,
Just eat it by the fistful.
that's right.
Then you
Sounds delicious.
Sounds delicious.
Right, so
Get on board with that.
plan is we eat up. We head back towards the cable cars. Then we head back to the wagon.
Stuffing pockets.
Quick
full
look
of
around,
food.
come back and meet your boy here and see what he knows.
Yep.
Can't leave any behind.
Sounds like a plan.
There's a bit in
At
here.
this point, Jenny heads back with the platters of meat.
So when you get this
I
food
thought
from,
we already
you look at someone else's table,
We had
you're like,
drinks.
You realise at this moment that what you've actually been doing is reaching across someone else's table, thinking the meat was already there, and helping yourself.
just
Luckily
taking
for
some.
you, the
He's
other
passed out
patrons
drunk.
have not noticed.
Awesome.
Thank fuck for that.
Oh, you're one of those prime
Red
people, aren't you?
So
No.
I'm going to try some of this. I'm going to try some of this rhino.
Yeah, sure, the mammoth.
I'm going to try some of this raw.
The secret ingredient is being in danger.
Because I've just stolen so much of their food and I feel really awful.
Just one goal. Okay. Give me a sleight of hand.
It's going to be really awkward if you roll a 1.
No, don't.
You just chuck a coin in their face. Oh,
One single gold coin,
What's that for?
halfway in their pocket, you're just there frozen.
Help me, what is that?
it's a number.
Dice.
Oh, it's a 6. Okay.
Sure, it could be a 9.
No,
We have a line underneath it.
Yeah, check the other's number on the other side.
that's.
Is there
Oh no, that's a 6. Yeah, it's got the line under it, so that's a 9. Okay, cool. 9. Wait a minute. Sleight of hand plus 6, which is 15.
Okay. You lean over to the other individual who does seem too busy lost in conversation at this time, and you see a satchel. With your quick fingers, you unbuckle the satchel and drop a gold coin.
It's the first I've ever heard of a rogue putting money
Yeah,
into
I like
someone's purse.
It's a bit of novelty.
Yeah.
It's a bit of Robin Hood action going on there.
Give me perception, actually.
What, us? You?
Yeah, as
Me?
you're
Ooh, let's
opposite.
get in there.
You're currently sat opposite. Nicholas.
15.
Loads. 21.
Okay.
I'm doing well this
It's
game.
like you were sat closer than I was.
I imagine his friend was like a bit more panicked and kind of like really good shit is going on.
Yeah, so you do actually, your eyes do lock on and you notice Amaryllis undoing this satchel from a nearby patron, which is just behind her, and then placing a gold coin into the satchel.
It's very kind of you.
I stole their food. Accident.
I like your stuff.
Yes, I'm going to try this half rhino monstrosity and see what it's like.
Okay, you take a bite and it tastes like
Brilliant.
meat. It tastes like...
Endangered
Chicken.
species.
Yes.
An endangered chicken.
Is it? The only thing I'm thinking is, if it's something that we came across, is it something that is like beef, so it would be cured? You get
Yeah,
cured.
it is a cured, sort of salted
Beefy, I would imagine it to be
kind of
beefy.
Okay.
meat.
This hardly tastes
I mean-
like salmon.
Not to drive it home, but not been a meat expert.
What?
20 plus years or however
Our
long it is.
vegan DM isn't a meat man.
I have no idea half of what
Just say it
meat-
tastes whatever you want it to taste.
It's literally
Yeah.
fall out one, isn't it?
Tastes like
Well, you
tastes
thought
like
this fish was the size of a
human.
tuna. So.
Like man.
I thought that was a tuna. Yeah, fair enough. I forgot that blunder where you're like, oh, this is a tuna.
Right, tuna.
Same size as a tuna. You mean those things that they can barely fit on a boat, Chris? Yeah, well, they're the ones.
The airship crashes through the tower.
Dead. Okay, so it is, from my reckoning, it's something that's going to be popular around here and we can get it cured.
Yes.
So it's going to
Last a bit longer, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
because I'm thinking more of the fact that we're meant to be looking for
nice
stuff we
jerky
can have
to
for
keep us
rations.
going.
So my mind's more like what food's about we
Grab
can have
some
as
shit, we
rations.
might need to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
I get what you do.
Fenrir is gonna like grab a slice of it and just put it inside his jacket.
Okay. Okay, you from within inside the confines of your jacket, you do hear.
You're making the cutest sounds.
You're stood next
Thank
to me
you.
and that sound starts and I just start doing this.
Oh, excuse
That was
me.
the cutest fart I've ever heard.
Thank you. Sorry, Ranger.
Brother, that's cute. Watch this.
You probably shit yourself. Oh good God! I just
Tavern gets closed down.
so yeah, I'm going to pick my way through the meat.
Dressing
Anything that I
anymore?
think is like, because I imagine it's quite a lot.
Last
of meat,
Yeah, it's quite a big part.
I'm going to just start cutting some pieces out, and I'm just going to start packing them, and then I'll just pack some and put it in my pack, just in case we got to like shift off.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you begin to take and cut those pieces up that you think will be able to cure and keep longer. So yeah, you have some part. What would it be called? Kind of-
Parts of wet paper.
yeah, like wet paper that you can wrap up the meats in, and you just have a travelling gear. It would come with it naturally.
that's
So
what I take
you
with
just
us.
begin to.
Tupperware.
Tupperware, yeah.
I put it in my bento box.
Sure.
Just log it in the bag.
And any random kind of scraps that he hasn't deemed good enough for us, I'm just going to kind of gather and put in my pocket.
Yeah.
And you catch sight of this sort of gathering the meats and we're going to put it in the pocket, which you think is a bit strange, but at the same time you're a bit of a hoarder
No,
yourself.
I mean,
So
you know, pocket food is always a good idea. Smart move.
We have been caught many a time in places with no food and water where I'd really wished I had a nice hunk of meat in my pocket.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we did fall out of the sky, so.
Yeah, that would have been easier with a sandwich.
And tricky was
Yeah.
the desert.
Yeah.
We crashed in a desert.
Yeah.
What's
Why are you
how
stuffing your
roughly how long's
He's doing it for
passed
me.
since we sat down? The drinks come, the food.
you're about now since you've been drinking and eating, you're about 40 minutes in now.
Okay.
Still got.
So
loads of
yeah,
time.
I'm just like, are we? I'm guessing we're going to wrap this up. Go to the cable car.
Wrap it up. Get it.
Go to the cable car. Go back to our lodging. And then go from there.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
While we're at it, let's just have a little scout around the room. Keep if anyone's watching on us, because I'd imagine whoever it was must have seen us lot. Maybe keeping
Yeah.
tabs on us.
Could I have a?
Yeah, give me a perception.
I would like to do a perception test.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna do mine with my Monaco.
I can do guidance myself. Why the fuck not?
Treat yourself.
24.
23.
Nice.
Okay.
We're like,
We have our.
You guys see everything.
So as you guys are glancing around, you notice someone that's seems to be dressed in a heavy-headed robe that has been watching Zeal for the better part of 10 or so minutes now since he actually caught sight.
Okay.
You glance around and you see an individual looking your way, but other than looking your way, you don't see anything unusual about it. Just that eyes are upon you, but only seems to be you.
you clock him on. Look him.
Yes, he seems to rather have a fixation on you, not us as a group.
Maybe you're
Is there?
Could be.
Is there someone you know from here, perhaps?
I've never been here before.
Well,
Maybe you know something about
the
moths.
thing is, would you like?
I mean,
Would it be
you
worth-
like to go over on your own? Or would you like to go as a group?
Just keep an eye on things.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on it.
Make sure we don't try and beg me and drag me, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that's fine.
I'll go and have a chat with him and find out who the hell he is.
Gotta do the mind thing so that if you're in trouble, just think really hard.
I'll do that. I normally try and think as hard as I can.
It's just like...
I'll trundle over and...
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
You link and you begin to you head over to the individual.
Oh god! Oh my god, why am I in it?
Constant elevator music in his head.
What the hell is going on here? I mean, I've had a voice in it before. Not music.
This is new.
She didn't sing before.
Looking around though, the only person we picked up was this chap in the corner who was staring just at Zor.
Yeah, that seemed to be the only sort of thing.
Everyone else seems to be mid-conversation,
Mid-conversation, tucked
drinking.
into food, drinking, enjoying themselves. There's merchants that seem in heavy discussion about transactions and cargo and products, but no, nothing else seems really unusual.
Sounds daft. Do merchants have like guild marks on them and stuff? Are they sort of like sporting
Nothing
stuff that
necessarily
say
on their
what
clothing.
They, no?
Any
Like, you
usual-
mean tabarded up or something?
Yeah.
So, at least not here in Judizia, you've not seen anyone that's wearing any sort of tabards or markings. There's
Okay.
no branding on them. Most of the time, from what you've seen heading in through the streets of
Independent,
Judizia,
won't they?
you've seen various wagons with branding on, but you
They're
haven't
not
seen
actual people.
the people that own
Okay,
the
so
stores.
everyone is a generic-looking tradesman in essence. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love it if people were wearing uniforms.
I'll go in.
We're in a
chat.
free society here where we're not deemed to dress a certain
Work
way.
for our overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put up a chair and sit next to him. The hooded figure.
He looks over then and, forgive me for staring, friend.
Right. Where have you taken him and how much do you want for him?
Sorry?
Where have you taken him and how much do you want for him?
Taken who?
Don't mess me about. You know exactly who you're talking about. Short little green fella. Kinda swears a lot.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was looking at that. And he points at the shield then, just currently hanging from your waist.
Right. So what do you want with that?
It looks familiar.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
No, I mean it looks... I've seen it before.
I hardly doubt it unless you've been where I've been.
Where have you been?
Oh, you know, around. Maybe I've been in Colonia, maybe I haven't.
Have you finished giggling over
I think so.
Sorry.
What are you talking about? People stop doing it. We need to find our friend. Wow, I'm drunk.
While I'm so drunk.
I wonder what my tongue tastes like.
I'm just hearing this in my head and going, what the fuck is he on about? And I'm trying to mentally go back and shut up.
From the north from here in Colonia, I spent some time there.
Right,
And that's where I've seen that shield before.
right. If you've seen the shield, then you know where it was. Where it used to hang.
In an orphanage.
That's interesting. How would you know that?
Because I used to be there. Many years ago.
Can we have a small banner that appears at the bottom of the screen that just flashes backstory? Like a really loud noise.
Right.
My name is Cradent Lacoro. Give me a history.
Yeah.
Someone got adopted and has a last name.
21.
Okay, so you do know his name. Not necessarily the surname, but you do know Craydon. Craydon was someone you grew up with in the orphanage. Would roughly be around about your age.
No, you couldn't be. Hang on. What? Here's you, Creighton.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing out here?
I came travelling. I looked for my fortune after everything went to shit in the north.
Yeah, it's still pretty shit. I mean, only left a couple of months back, but yeah, it's very much still shit. I mean, after the orphanage, I'm assuming you know what happened to it.
I've heard stories. I was lucky enough to be adopted before it went to shit, but yeah, I've heard stories. Your zeal.
That'd be correct.
Yeah, it's been a long time, buddy. A long, long time.
Certainly has. More years than I've been. That's for sure.
What stories have you heard that happened to the orphanage then?
Well, it's not there.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Do you know why?
Yeah. Colonial soldiers came and demolished the place.
That's correct. Exactly. Yeah.
He claimed it burnt down, but
No.
it did.
That's what they cover story. What they said. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but whatever they did to that place, there was nothing left of it. I mean, except for this. Halfway to the shield.
Sister Cassilius gave you that. Because she
would
kept
have
that
done
with
if
the
she
lock
was
and
alive,
key.
I think. I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah, I know. She's no longer with us.
Huh. I did wonder.
I've heard some rumours that she's still buried underneath that place.
That's what I had as well. I mean, I tried, but there was literally nothing after that place. After what happened.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, those bastards are going to pay for it one day. I can promise you that.
Do you mind if I look at it?
I mean,
Just for old time's sake.
as much yours as it was mine, I suppose.
He takes it in his hands then and begins to turn it around, looking at the crescent. Yeah, I haven't seen this for years.
What's happening? Has he got to trade us moss for the shield?
I'll tell you later.
You got a bit of damage in this, though. You sort of trace his fingers over the burn from the rust monster.
Had a bit of an accident, to say the least.
It's a shame to leave it so damaged.
I've actually been looking for someone that can possibly repair it.
You want to go to see Gallium? Gallium War?
Galleon War.
Yeah, you'll find him in the Blade Plateau. In Shardbinder's blacksmithy. He's immaculate work. Gal will fix it up in no time.
That's good to know. I need someone with a bit of decent work. I mean, this thing's old as far as I'm aware. She didn't used to say much about it. Said it belonged to some hero once or something like that.
Yeah, she kept hold of it. She never wanted to let it go.
No, she never. She always used to say, oh, I'll tell you the story one day, but she never did.
Yeah, God's rest her soul. Look, I've gotta go. It was real good seeing you though.
Certainly was as well.
You take care.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry about earlier see, one of my friends kind of got, kidnapped.
Ah, I'm sorry to hear that.
You happen to know any merchants that have a twin wolf head symbol
Twin wolf
on
head.
their wagon? I mean, that fella over there, the shifty looking bouncer guy, says he might know something if we give him something a bit later when he's off duty, but I don't know if I trust him.
Yeah, Drew, he knows most things going around here. He does run in with some dark crowds. If anyone knows, it'll be him. I'm sorry I can't help out anymore.
Thanks anyway. Nice to
Take
see
care.
you again.
Good to see you again.
Best of luck in whatever venture's for.
Yeah, we'll see how my adventuring goes, eh?
God's be with you.
And you. He turns then and you see the individual walk past your table and just takes one last glance over his shoulder. Taking in you, Zeal, seems to take
Sit
each
like
of you
that.
in at the table. And then gives a little nod to each of you and then heads out the door.
So is a human then?
Yeah, he seems human in appearance.
Okay.
So, sort of friend of yours, Seal?
Somebody I used to know long ago.
You didn't get too much of a good view at him as he kept his head up.
Okay.
I thought I was your only friend.
I have many friends in many places,
Yeah.
but didn't expect him to find one here.
Must be someone you trust if you handed him your shield.
Well, let's just say he has much right to that shield as I do, I suppose. Grew up with him, and, well, he's known that shield as long as I have.
Well, the chances meeting him in
Well,
Jadisra,
it's quite
of
the,
all places.
Fortune said ace. Just so happens he happens to know a blacksmith that might be able to help me out. But we've got more pressing matters to worry. I did ask him about Moss as well. He seems to think the bouncer over there is in with a certain crowd, so might
Okay.
be telling the truth as in he might know some stuff.
Okay.
So I think we stick with the plan for now. I mean, at some point I can go and see this gay or white guy, whatever he's called. That.
Galleon White.
Yeah.
Galleon White.
Galleon White, yeah.
Gallium Wart.
Galleon
Wart. That's a good
Oh, I
name.
like that. Yeah, Galleon Wart.
He called him Gal.
Yeah,
He said
Gal,
Gal will
for
sort it
sure.
out.
Cool. Okay,
So now
so
shall we go
pockets stuffed full of
and have a
meat.
bit of a scout now?
Let's go.
Yes. Are you okay to join us still, or?
Yes, that would be lovely, thank you.
Yeah, well, spend it that way, Ted. Dreadfully well.
People just love us.
Make our way back out onto the streets. Are market stalls and stuff starting to close up now? Or?
So it's it's just sort of it's kind of early afternoon now.
Okay.
It's getting later,
Okay.
but yeah, you assume the market stalls are still trading, but beginning to close up.
Okay.
So you're gonna head out, Tom?
Yeah. Well, we can just head back the way we came back in, because that'll take us straight to the cable cars, won't it?
Yeah.
It will.
So I say, we'll worry about supplies tomorrow. Let's just
Yeah, so I think we have more pressing issues this evening.
see what we can find out.
So if we go back to the card,
Yeah.
see if Moss is there, see if anybody's seen him at the cable cars, and then we'll come back ready for when they're about to finish his shift.
Sounds like a plan.
So,
Each of you in turn finishes your drinks, eats your meat, and heads out of the tavern. The sun spills the last rays of early afternoon as darkness begins to shift and sweep in from the far west. There's a screech of firetail springers, tiny little fire-feathered birds that are known to settle around lived-in communities, using secluded rooftop shelters to cool off from the day's sun and recharge their tail feathers, hence their name, the firetails. You hear them call out up at the skies, and as you glance toward them, you catch sight of spitting fiery streaks fluttering off to nest on for the encroaching evening. The streets seem quiet, as a handful full of market stores are still trading for the last chance customers now, while others are dismantling their stalls ready for another long day of trade throughout the entire plateau. You see a little gnome dressed in loose garb, just bumbling along from the back of his cart as he places a stack of crates, produce left over from the day's trading. He takes one stop and then another one before he haphazardly drops the stacked crates, they topple from his grasp and you hear him call out, "Ah, bollocks!" You see apples, bananas, spiky honey shells, and all manner of other exotic fruits spill across the floor. He begins to curse and fluster as he crouches down, beginning to gather the fruit.
Oh, come over help. Don't use me.
As you head towards, he's like, he looks up. Alright, yeah, thanks. Yeah, cheers. He seems to have one eye on you, almost wondering if this is some sort of ploy.
Theft.
So, Mr. Small Man, have you seen a goblin anywhere?
Goblin?
Goblin.
I see lots of goblins pass through this way. As in, I see lots of people pass through this way.
Purple hair, orange to the teeth, being dragged away.
Yeah, possibly being dragged against his will.
Put in a cart.
Probably calling those people.
Can't say. I thought if someone was been dragged away, they'd be probably with a town guard, wouldn't they?
No, it doesn't seem to be a town guard issue. Seems to be more like a. Yes.
It's okay, Norm.
Like it's been taken without his will, almost.
Sorry, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Wish I could help a bit more.
What about some discount fruit? Some of that's a bit damaged.
Some of this fruit? Yeah, well, it's only going to go to waste otherwise. Do you want this crate of fruit for gold?
Sure. I'll look around seeing if that's a good deal on fruit.
Norm's
for a
freaking
crate of
out
it,
over a
it might be.
banana.
I
Just hold this banana.
No.
It feels squishy, but also
delicious.
very soft with the skin on. You ever had one of them?
Norm's quite new to a lot of things.
He's not from around these parts.
He's not, from around here.
You must be from the north. It's you've got to peel it. You got to peel it.
Oh,
It's really good.
he's eaten worse.
I've eaten its stalk first.
Yeah,
I mean, he eats eggs with shells on
you
side.
have to tell your friend he's got to peel it, and it's the inside you want. You don't have the skin.
It's alright, I think he's got a good constitution, he can handle it.
He's got a solid stomach, doesn't Norm?
Yes.
I give him.
If I could rate my constitution on a scale of 1 to 20, I'd put it at a solid.
Thanks very much. And he passes you one of the crates. And thanks for helping out.
take
Much
that.
appreciated.
I'll just take one of the apples out of the crate and put it inside my jacket.
Hang on,
Pocket food.
we're going to sell them all. This is our trade business.
Selling discount
Start walking
fruit.
through the market. Discount fruit, only 2 gold.
What about these? What about these?
That's it, we undercut this bastard here.
Very good. One apple. Really tasty. 1 pound banana.
We go to the poshest part of town and we overprice it.
Now we just blend it into artisanal smoothies.
You
Miniature cabbages.
Adorbs.
Brussels sprouts.
Mini cabbages.
I've just realised I haven't eaten today.
Oh, Addison.
not eating at all.
I had cereal before work.
This is him being like, oh, Davey, Mackey's.
Let's go
And
to
I'm
McDonald's
like,
afterwards. Get you a
Mackey's.
McDonald's.
Good lad. Chris,
McDonald's, give us
do you
money.
mind if we change from the blue?
They might change from the blue. We can
A
change.
little bit.
Well, yeah, we are getting a bit more
Darker.
further into the day.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's asked to have it changed.
Thank you.
Oh,
Trust me, blue is not a code word for something else.
No. Hey, was it being a little bit striking out for a while?
Blinded
Bit
by the
striking.
lights.
And then I just directly look at the lights.
Yeah, that
Never looked directly
that
at
one
the
just
sun.
happens to be looking right at me tonight for some reason. I'm like,
That one there is looking right at me.
yeah.
You suffering through
Just
a
to
bit
see
of
your
a
beautiful
heat
faces.
stroke there, are you, Viator?
Yes, it's getting to me rather. Only if I had a pair of goggles to wear. Oh wait, just pull them
Maybe
back.
put that hat back on as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to wear matching goggles. We're going missing friend.
oh yeah.
Oh, sun goggles. Oh,
Matching
lovely.
goggles.
You all have goggles. I don't have goggles.
I'm sure we'll be able.
Just met you.
I'm sure we'll be able to find you a set, especially when we find
What
more
are the
stuff.
goggles about? What are the goggles for?
Don't say that.
We're always lost in the desert.
Yeah.
Turns out if you go into the desert, it's a bit
Sandy. It's a bit sandy and windy.
Bright.
Yeah.
And it's always blowing everywhere.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
We just happen to always be walking into the wind.
They're matching because we're best friends.
So I guess we're just plodding on.
You continue on. You leave. You continue down the street then when you see a group of youths dressed in heavy set brown robes.
Bloody hoodies.
One is
Roadman.
one's blue-skinned. Tiny little globules of water run down his face, while another large-set teenager is adorned with very sea-green hue skin, crooked, pointed nose, and you kind of see it's a little bit unusual to see a troll youngling cohabiting with other species. But one thing you have noticed in your time in Juditra so far is that it seems a centre of culture in the far south regions. Just behind the group, then, you see a marching band playing flutes and drums and harps as the festivities for the night ahead begin. The Sun Festival you've been hearing so much about begin to take shape. The large group soon overtake the teenagers you saw previously, as the musical procession is now more of a mix of bright colours. You see bards adorned with purple hats and long dyed feathers that portrays a great fiery phoenix feather.
I didn't steal from one of them, honestly.
Yours is better.
You see a woman dressed in a heavy set of white robes, her face hidden by this illustrious mask of the sun, while another woman is garbed in yellow robes, but her face is also hidden, but by a very large purple mask of a moon. You hear a cacophony of cheers and celebration just overtakes your senses as the large crowd begins to pass you. You hear one of the bars in the front begins to call out, "To the Sun Festival, praise Vienna for the beauty of summer. May Gordica bring the fires to warm your very souls. Praise be the sun of Vona, and praise be our twin moons, Oberyn and Calhassus, your lighters in our darkest days." Woo! Stepping aside then for the large crowd. A few shoulders begin to bump into you. But the crowd seems so large and loud as another bump pushes you almost off balance, but you just correct yourself in time, and you hear a call from someone in the mass of the crowd then. "Sorry friend, may Yenna bless you." Finally, you see the large crowd begin to head further down to the square where you assume the festivities are taking place. And you begin to continue further down the path. Thea, give me a just general dexterity. No, perception actually.
Give me a dance test.
Are you currently wearing it or not?
Yeah, I didn't.
You still had it on?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It's just a permanent feature of your place now.
It is at the minute when I'm looking for a comrade that's missing. 19.
Staple it to your head.
It's under the goggles.
Okay, you begin to carry on down the long stretch of street, and you casually reach for your belt, and you feel like it's just that weight that used to be there doesn't currently appear to be there, and you've then suddenly realised that you've been pickpocketed in the loud commotion. Your coin purse is missing.
And guess who's got all our money?
The rest of you are continuing on as you just come to this sudden realisation.
Are you alright there? But it's alright.
Excuse me, I got to go and kill somebody.
You are?
What?
And then just, so that crowd, did I have any perception of who it was that bumped into me? Because I assume that was the person who did it.
So there was a lot of people bumping, there was a whole throng of people. But are you glancing back at the
Yeah.
group? Give me a perception roll.
That was the bastard that shouted crazy.
20, unnatural.
Okay, very nice. Glancing down towards the group, around about 200 feet away now, almost disappearing in the massive group of people. Now they're all rushing to be out of the chaos. You see a glinting of coins, then that familiar leather pouch with your matching red pattern design on your coin purse. And you see it's been held in the hand of a young troll child.
Oh, goddammit. Fucking hoodies.
His nose just pokes out of the heavy-set cowl wrapped around his head. He looks over his shoulder then and literally catches sight of you. You see him quickly lean into another one of his brown robes. He's literally done your right. Literally leaning into another individual, and you see this one is seems to be a blue-skinned female with strange patterns that adorn her cheeks, and then you realise this is a Triton, or a Triton child at least. And she quickly ushers the group as she's passed the pouch, and she begins to usher them on. And you remember then, this is the same group of children who've been playing ball in the square when you first arrived.
Right.
Murder! And I hear it's gonna be murder!
They picked
Ranger.
a really bad day to mug us.
Yeah, they did. Have you spotted who it is, Ranger?
Yes.
How far away are they?
About 200 feet.
How much magic
that's
do I
shit.
use?
Yeah,
If it was
that's...
120 feet, I'd have beaten the shit out of them. Turns out it doesn't alcohol.
my god, yeah.
Okay.
200 feet away.
So you got to remember that this is there's a huge group of people in possession. They're currently using, at least from what you can tell, they're currently using a throng of people to try and hide their movements.
Is it a throng of people that Fenrir can barge his way through
So
in front of you?
this is what you can see, and you can see them slowly getting further away.
I
What
reckon
do
you
want
can
to do?
make that shot.
Well, if I can make it, I'm taking it.
Let's
try and take
just
No,
say
no,
while it's on camera
Sniper
that we're
fucker.
moving forward
Yes.
while making a plan, so
Yeah.
they don't just randomly get away.
We're
from
going
us.
after our money.
Yeah.
So when so if you're going to try and take the shot, trying to be aware.
Whoa! Are you shooting a child?
Yeah.
Now when
Just wounded him.
In a-
It's
in a-
just
fine.
want you to be aware.
crowded,
So as you Fenrir see Vina take out the rifle to aim at the child, you do flash up you do remember speaking to the one of the guards as you came into the city, and they did state that there was a strict no weapon policy. You
Yeah.
allowed them on you, but if you use them, you will be thrown into.
So Fenrir puts that musket down. No.
Hey, splendid. I'm glad you've pushed it down slowly, because I'm going to drive it through that small child's face.
No. It's a child. We don't need to kill them. We can
I'm not
scare
going to
them.
kill it. It's going to
What else were you going to do with the
wing it
musket?
straight through its neck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue running
Are you heading towards the?
towards the
Okay, so you're going to pursue them.
Yeah.
We will give chase.
Yeah,
We will
Fenrir,
give chase.
Fenrir's going to pursue as
My
well.
little legs.
Straight through the crowd as if they're not even there.
Okay, so you begin to run after them.
Don't go, you bastards.
Charging through the massive masses of the festival dwellers, ducking down low, then barging past another resident. You spot them up ahead, dashing and darting between the throng as a large Tapux carrying a staff with two large terracotta containers of ale either end swings around when the troll child hard steps around his leg. You were taking lead, Amarilla, so give me a dexterity test, please. Athletics.
Ooh. 20 plus 1. 21.
Oh, nice.
That's 20.
21. Nice. Okay. You managed. So just before you would have collided with the Tapux, you managed to narrowly duck, and you managed to just leap over his staff as the troll child seems to have pulled him in one direction. You flip over his large legs and sidestep just in time. The rest of you can see what's happening at this stage as you continue on, and you begin to drift through the throng as well. you continue following the little bobbing robed figures as they break from the main crowd, seemingly heading to one side of the streets to escape the huge crowd. You get the impression they're attempting to use the alleyways and cover of approaching darkness to evade you, as your eyes find that they're still around about 200 feet away. You see ahead, they leap onto the back of a horse and cart, which is still in the street at this time. Various crates and boxes piled up on the back. The driver of the cart turns around then as the wagon seems to hit up forwards and then slam back down with the weight of the children. "Hey, get out of there, you brats!" And they begin to leap from the wagon and run off into another back alley. You're still in pursuit. Give me an athletics test.
Another athletics.
Yes, please.
That's 16 plus 1, that's 17.
Okay, nice. So you see the now stationary horse and cart as the driver's pulled on the reins, and you literally manage to you just manage to spring down just over the horse and cart just in time. So you literally flip up, and you see this. You see your new compatriot just flip up over the cart, and she leads you, waving her hands so you can still see the colours of the fabric, down one of an alleyway which takes you off the main street.
Can I just point out that this halfling woman is like leaping like 10 foot in the air with every move?
It's absolutely fantastic.
I'd like to cast Zephyr Strike on myself.
Zephyr Strike. Okay.
Means you can run super fast.
I double my movement
Double your
speed,
movement, okay.
and it also gives me force damage on my first hit.
Okay,
I was
nice.
going to say, how far away am I from this child?
So you're still around about 200 feet. You can see them at a distance of the alleyway.
I move like the wind.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you suddenly erupt in this magical energy, and the little room side of pint glass and Weatherspoon's menu begins to.
Just like that, 3 plates. No, God, that's £12.50.
And you just erupt as you begin to just dash down the alleyway. In fact, you get ahead of Amaryllis at this point. You see this, and you see Viatorium just
like Naruto.
almost like a streak of a sprinter, really.
Hands back like Naruto. Head down. God,
let's be.
I was more imagining Forrest Gump.
Like this. Just going through the street. I can smell my purse.
Go and fucking run!
I can't wait to slap one child with D8 force damage.
Jesus.
You open your coin purse, you're throwing all the money out, going, where is it? And you just see one little napkin that's got Trish written up over his next.
Oh my god! I just lie on the ground with it against my chest. And I'm like,
the precious.
It's covered in gold. I'm just lying there like,
I got it.
Just sniff it.
so how far away am I from these children? I'm about to slap into oblivion.
So roughly now you about 180 feet away. You dash through the alleyway as it opens up into a very large back street with wooden boards separating the abodes into various gardens and formal relaxing spots. You see washing that's just hanging on the lines. There's smoke billowing from chimneys, and local residents sit minding their own business at various tables outside their homes. Give me a perception. This time you're glancing around really quick, but can't seem to see a sign of them.
Should I do your perception as well?
Say Theo, as he's in front at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
23.
Nice.
Okay. You look around and you see a few of the locals seem to catch you looking around as well, and you see an old man who's got a very large wicker hat on. He just points down to a very tight side alley. Run that away!
I'm like this.
And you begin to run, and you glance down the tight alleyway, and you catch a glimpse of one of the children, now around about 170 feet, so you've gained another 10 feet, and then just slipping around the end of the said alleyway.
How fast these fucking kids? He's got a movement speed of like 70.
I got a movement speed of 70 feet at the minute.
The
kids must be ratty.
kids were already 200 feet ahead when this began.
It's close to the gap though. It's like
Get there.
You wait till I slap one of them.
just imagine you just running clothesline. You just
Take his head off.
Grab him by the leg and throw him off the plate.
slam him into the wall. Yeah, boom.
Give me a
Clothesline.
give me a quick athletics test, please.
I'm not made for running.
That's not too bad.
Not bad.
That's okay, isn't it? Oh, I've got +4 in athletics as well. 19.
19. Nice. Okay.
You never see when I run too fast. It's like
So as you run through and follow in front of Viatori, and the rest of you that are behind Fenrir, you see Fenrir sort of runs through one of the washing lines, and you can see a very large set of
pantaloons.
of pants, just literally over Fenrir's head, and there seems to be like a bra strap on one of the legs just hanging out. As you see, Fenrir just reach down and just tries to take out the pantaloons and just throws them behind him.
I'd imagine they were cleats that were on the line.
I'm just using this slipstream now, so I'm behind me.
It's like running in his slipstream. Which it is with a special running
Avoiding the
club.
bras.
We're all running a line like a slipstream.
You
Then we'll slingshot ourselves in front.
you continue to follow, keeping track and gaining traction at all times. You're now about 150 feet away, and you continue following the child. You push your way through the tight alleyway and spill out into a dead end. Then you see a large wall barring the way, but can see a number of old cargo crates piled high up, where you see a metal grate just being pulled back into place by small hands.
You go for it.
You gonna go for it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in.
Give me an athletic test as you attempt to climb the crates.
I forgot my athletic rules and kit. 14?
Maybe I should do the other.
14. Okay, that's exactly what we needed.
It is now.
You quickly climb up the crates then, taking one little quick glance around, and you see your other compatriots who are following you. Amaryllis was just behind you, then Fenrir, then we have Zeal, then we have Norman.
Hey, Norm's got a fucking stitch.
Oh, fuck!
I don't think he's built for running.
I got one sort of fucking teleport.
You at the top of these crates then, you glance around your surroundings once more, and you can see that you're on what appears to be the roof of a very large circular building. Keeping low, it doesn't appear anyone has spotted you at this time, and your hands clasp hold of the metal grate and pry it open, and then slip inside. You race through it's like a service shaft. You just begin to crawl through, and you feel stone slabs against your knees and palms. And soon enough you can hear the sound of your compatriots also climbing up the crates and beginning to head inside. You hear voices then up ahead as the little grate opens up, and finally you're able to stand up. You hearing the voices coming down below, you quickly duck back down slightly, and you scan about the structure of the building and realise you're crouched inside the circular building you were stood on previously. In fact, it looks like a very large hall, and you can see pillars that are forming a circle overhang around the structure. The room resembles a kind of auditorium, and glancing to your left and your right, your eyes suddenly lock onto the left. A small pouch. Your coin purse. And there's a few coins that seem scattered near it, as if it was dropped in a hurry.
Well, there should be 250 inside of it, so I will be like...
Lower me down on a rope. Lower me down on a rope.
Oh, I have just a rope for this.
So
you do?
I literally just... I'm guessing by weight I'd know if most of them were there.
Yeah, you quickly take it you're crawling or you're going to be standing up?
I'll crawl.
Okay, so you crawl over to the pouch and you grab it and you shake the coin purse. It roughly seems like the full amount's there, Pos.
Put the bits back that were scattered around.
You begin to scatter the bits and it seems like you roughly got the right
Pull it back together and then I tuck it back. I'm going to put it in my bag.
Okay, you put it in your bag this time securely.
Yeah.
What you need is one of those things that you put under your top, like a strap thing.
Yeah.
The rest of you pour through.
Yeah.
The rest of you pour through the way that you came through the metal grate, and also keep low as you hear voices down below. So where you are on the overhang, it looks like you can peer down.
I'm going to peer down.
Sorry, I thought that's where the money
With
was.
my manicure.
Okay, you creep close to the walls of the overhang, placing your fingers just on the edge and slowly peer over, glancing down below. You see a group of men and women, not the children you were chasing previously, sat at a very large, elaborate, circular stone table, each with an ornately designed chair. Two of the chairs seem empty, and standing in the alcove surrounding the stone table are a number of men, dressed in brown leather armour, blades and crossbows hanging loosely at their sides. You know this to be the Garber mercenaries.
Okay.
You hear one of the voices ring out then. The old man is late, as usual. A leathery skinned man sits back in the stone seat then, his face very snake-like in appearance, a long pointed nose, narrow slit eyes, and you're sure you can see the flicker of a forked tongue and tiny scales just above his brow. Jet black slick back hair finished the oily complexion, while he was dressed in a black shirt that reached up in an almost turtleneck finish, a white elegantly designed jacket and long white suit pants. His hands came together as he rapped fingers against each other in frustration. A large booming voice echoes about the chamber as a powerfully built blue-shaded skinned triton stands with a large axe over one shoulder, guarding, you presume, the large metal container that housed a rotund, balding merfolk. Eyes almost bloodshot as he waded in a capsule of water, encompassing his entire form. Give him time. Van Dubius is our oldest member. We owe that much. Yes, but the man is a fool. A fool who made quite a name for himself until you showed up. I always said with him you follow the past. With me you follow the future. A loud creak then is heard from down below, as a very short-looking man, or possibly a gnome, with a long white beard, begins to enter. You see where the man, from what you can make out, where the man doesn't look as though he's very short in nature, but he doesn't look as though he's walking. You can just see a very dark gloom. But as the doors to the auditorium close and the gloom recedes back over all the assembled, you can see the short-looking man, or the gnome, seems to be in a very strange contraption. Looks like a wooden wheelchair.
Okay.
He begins to wheel himself down the long stretch leading to the table. Glasses rest atop his long bulbous nose as very slowly he comes to a stop at that table, barely visible beneath the height of it. Long blue and purple robes flow from his small frame as he motions to the leathery skinned man
speaking ill of me again, Zalai? Ladies and gentlemen, forgive my tardiness. These old bones don't quite work as well as they used to. Speaking ill of the great Van Dubius Fizzlewick, I think not. We are glad you could make it, old man.
What do we owe the honor of this request to meet? Are we not due to meet in 10 days' time?
Yes, I am most curious. Tell me, old man, why call us all here in some kind of cloak and dagger affair? The other men and women around the table stiffened then, curious as to what the old gnome had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've requested you join me here today to ask you for your ear. I have come into knowledge of the whereabouts of the Eye of Kahanda, the most glorious glittering red ruby this side of the Sky Kingdoms.
You can hear like a hysterical laughter begins to break out throughout the other assembled members then, as the gnome tried to compose his anger.
The most sought after jewel, hidden for centuries, hunted by treasure hunters, and down the seas of the Kraken Bay, the scorching sea, and the creeping shallows. And you, the grand Fizzlewick of relics and antiquities, have come into knowledge of its location. Forgive me for not pouring my treasury into your palm, but we have all heard this countless times before. Promises from the Relics and Antiquities Museum of Profound Discoveries, only to see half the hunting expedition and the other half return empty-handed with incredible debt incurred. So much debt, in fact, that didn't Relics and Antiquities go bankrupt recently?
You can see Van Dubius furrows his brow in irritation then.
I did not go bankrupt. I lost my hired help to some unscrupulous tactics. Mainly one Eriamostro Zalai.
The leathery-skinned man looks quite frustrated then at that.
You dare to accuse me of such underhanded schemes before the Relic Society guilds of Jadizra? Preposterous. If loyalty ran thicker than blood in your former mercenaries, then they would have never come to me.
You hear a gruff female voice then call out, "Gentlemen, gentlemen, order please. Lord Avonshire sent me his retinue. I shall uphold the peace in his stead. Now quiet your feuds in the grand chambers." You hear that same powerful voice ring out.
Tell me, in fact, enlighten us all, Mr. Fizzlewick, why we should give you our coffers. No offence meant by this, but is this not just another mad pursuit, another vanity project of yours? Your track record in the last few years has not been successful, shall we say. In fact, so much so, am I not mistaken in thinking most society in Jadizra now laugh you out of their homes? And as the guilds of relics, we do have a certain reputation to uphold, if we wish to continue being funded by the sultans.
Because I recently became enlightened. I will not reveal my sources. Suffice to say, it revealed that the Eye of Kahanda is more than just a priceless jewel. It could be key to supplying everyone with a way to quench their thirst. Jadizra wouldn't need to rely on the sun on supplying everyone with water any longer. We wouldn't need to have a water supply. We would have our own. Every citizen would be given the nourishment of purified water. Without speaking too much jargon, it's not just a jewel, it's a key.
A leathery-skinned man laughs again then. A key to what exactly?
That is the question we should be asking.
And you know the whereabouts of this Eye of Kahanda?
In a way, yes.
In a way, you either do or do not, Mr. Fizzlewick. Which is it?
It is far more complicated than that. There are codes, scriptures, ciphering runes. So you mean to say you have nothing on the whereabouts of this Eye of Kahanda? No proof that we can find it if we form an expedition. Supreme antiquarians, please, can we see sense? A dark-skinned woman then with a bald head, wearing extravagant gold jewellery and a white parashma leans forward, clenching her hands together, her makeup a series of intricate lines of white paint that accent her scowling eyes. Vandubius, we have the most utmost respect for you, for all you have done for the Antiquarian Society. But we cannot release more coffers, at least in my humble opinion. Do we have anyone who is in favour of lending Mr. Fizzlewick and his Relics and Antiquities Guild the funds to trade for Veska in search of a myth? There was an eerie silence that just shunned over the chambers. As for the slightest moment, the little gnome swivels in his wheelchair, eyes taking each of the assembled councillors in, just looking for some kind of acknowledgement or backing, and then looks very disheartened, as no hands were raised and his head was lowered. He places his hands on the wheels of his wheelchair then. Yes, I see. I have extinguished my favour in all of you, and yes, this old man will go back to his research. I thank you for your time, my esteemed collegiates. I shall see myself out.
With that, you see the gnome shifts from his chamber table and wheels himself toward the doorway. Just before he reaches the double doors, they're swung open by 6 individuals, one wearing a black robe, female in shape, her face covered from your vantage point. She stops in her tracks, seemingly uttering something to the gnome, who waves her off. A kind smile passed her way before he leaves the chamber, as you see a humanoid carrying a bowstaff, a lantern hanging at either end of the bowstaff, circles back to usher her on. A large individual wearing leather armour, slightly larger than Fenrir, motions for the woman to follow, as she quickly catches up with the other party, and they head straight to the chamber table. Zalai stands up then, leathery-skinned individual.
Speaking of the fool's ex-mercenaries, here they are now.
You hear the woman's voice ring out then. Erimastro, we have uncovered another location. Shall we... I need you all to roll me a stealth test.
Oh god.
How far back are they?
Oh god.
The
The
other individual. So they're just behind you, and I assume as you've come through you've seen Viatorum go up to the edge and we're listening in, and you can also hear the voices ringing out through the chamber.
Oh,
I thought we were Scooby Dooing it, like we were like that behind him.
What'd you get?
7.
18.
Okay.
Oh.
That's still counting.
What did you get?
Me, I got 7.
Okay.
4.
Oh, okay. And you?
23.
So me and him are like the shadows.
I'm just like, I'm stood at their table like...
We're not even supposed to be in here.
I'm the guy in the wheelchair.
No, I've lost favour with you all. I'm just rolling out the door, just looking back, and you guys are up there just clanging around. I'm like, bloody idiots.
No, I'm alright. I'm in the shadows thinking you go.
I'm like,
It's the chair.
no, dear, leave us do it. Nah.
Should we even be in here? This seems like a really private conversation.
So, at that moment, you see the woman looks up and then utters. She seems to look in your direction, but you're still lost in darkness, but she glances up. There's someone here.
This isn't where I park my car.
Zalai at this time begins to glance around the chamber, then his little slit snake eyes beaming left and right as the various guards that were originally standing begin to glance around the chamber as well, up at the circle overhang where you currently are. The woman glances straight up, and her eyes lock with yours, Viatora, at this moment.
Is this large black woman?
This is the woman that came in through the door.
Oh, the mercenary. Oh.
You're in there.
I was actually thinking the large black woman sounded like a bit of me, but yeah.
For the shortest moment, she seems to clock your position as you quickly drop back down behind the wall. And this is why I hired you. Guards up there, go! Find the intruders now!
What's it? Is something in a big tank of water, did you say?
So that's the booming voice.
Yeah, Aquaman's in there.
That was where the voice was coming from.
It's Jackson's dad. He's come back from revenge.
How much water's in that tank?
Enough to keep him encapsulated with water.
You go shoot the tank.
Volume. In this square? Bigger? How big is he?
We're talking like a 10-foot tank.
Is it a big old tank?
Yeah, I'd say about 10 foot
10
tank.
foot by 10?
That's
by
quite
10.
a bit of water, seeing as a metre square is a cubic ton. That's quite a lot of water. I'm going to shoot the tank.
Okay, so you're going up and shoot the
Dear,
tank.
David's gone and done math again. This usually ends so
Okay,
well.
give me a attack roll.
Well, he hasn't attacked me, so I get advantage.
Depends how good this glass is.
26.
Nice, okay.
I'm aiming for a corner, because I know how glass works.
Yeah, okay, you've hit. So give me damage roll.
Well, I've still got plus D10 with the first weapon roll after Zephyr Strike. That's right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've read this. Once before spending else, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll on your turn. That deals an extra 1d8 force damage as well. So that plus musket equals goodbye.
Okay, give me a damage roll.
I'm just about to. 1d8 plus musket. 16.
Okay, so you pop up then and shoot your musket. The rest of you can just see like Viatora just pop up.
What is he doing?
And as soon as
fighting
you fire, you hear the crack. Because you see in that short moment that you're up, you just see a cascade of water begins to pour out as the merfolk individual begins to clutch and try and stabilize himself. The Triton bodyguard quickly rushes over to catch him, and then again you hear the voice of the lion say, "The gods take them and get them," and heavy booted feet.
I just look around at everyone in the tube and I'm like, turn! Let's go!
And you see the heavy booted feet of mercenary guards begin to sweep up the stairway up to the circle overhang where you currently are. You hear armour hammering in each step as they get closer to you. You hear voices say, "Come out, you bastards! If you come out now, we'll make it easy for ya!" And they begin.
You make it easy for us,
I
alright
don't
then.
believe them.
I'll have a bit of that.
So how big a space are we in?
So on the circle overhang, you've got enough for about three people.
Are we trying to get through that grate where we came out?
So you can get through that. Yep, the grate is directly behind you if that's the direction you want to go.
Just fucking
I-
go there.
I'm going to slap a puddle of grease on the floor.
And I'm going to cast Fog Cloud over the top of it.
Yeah, combo.
Combo, me and you like morph into.
So
Take
what,
the shape of an ice dragon.
You're elegantly just leaving a fog cloud using your magic.
I'm emitting fog out of my hands, just like filling
So
this space.
as you put the grease, is that what you said you were going to do? Grease? Yeah. So as you put this so the first time you've ever seen anyone
this
cast
is
magic
crazy,
this way,
right.
and this garble of grease just spills onto the
feel
floor,
like I'm in it.
and then your hands reach out as this mist begins to form.
Go through the grate, everyone through the grate.
Going.
Just like
And you begin to head through the grate.
Some of the
See what you're doing? Are you heading through the grate?
my baby like a seal.
Just as we head through, I'm going to use Fermentology on the other side, 30 feet away, and just have a laugh going, "I'm over here, you bastards!" This is someone over the other
Okay.
side.
You cast that as well just before you go through the grate, and you can hear a few confused discussions as the guards. You think some of the guards may have split away as they're still following. As there's still a variety of them that's sort of heading up the stairs, but you feel that some of them may well have started to head back down the stairs.
Good. No distraction.
We're so good.
Through the grate.
We're so good at running away.
We're great at this.
Bravely running away.
Nice, great. Yes, nice. Good plan. I'm going to go through last, and I'll shut the grate behind me, and then follow up.
And then what's it?
I'm going to shut the grate behind me, and then follow everyone else.
Okay, so you've let everyone else go through first, so everyone's just gone through the grate. And so as you're pulling the grate, you can see in the distance, you see some of the guards that are trying to pour through. You can see some of them now. You can see some of them begin to just fall down onto the grease, and then you hear curses like, "Get me up! Get me up!" And then you hear another one come over and go, "Don't! What you don't vote for? You plonk!" And then he falls as well. And then you hear a couple more coming your way down the hallway.
Awesome.
You quickly place the grate back into place, and all of you begin to shift your weight over the ledges and boxes to the street level, collecting yourself a moment. Where do you want to go?
Back to the wagon.
Okay, so you begin to try and break through back through the alleyway. You had to go through several alleyways. As you are heading back out through the alleyway, you see a nearby doorway springs open, and a couple of similar mercenary guards pour out. Then you have a quick rough count. You think there's about 5 or 6 of them as they begin to follow you, begin to charge you.
They can see us. They're coming for us.
They literally just barge through them, and they've just seen you leaving the scene of
the crime.
I'm going to try something really stupid. They went that way!
So they look like they're dressed in the same mercenary garb.
Those bloody kids! Bloody hoodies!
But there was a group of mercenaries that went in, and then there were guards that were separate from them by the sounds of things.
So there was a group of mercenaries down below in the circular overhang. They came running up the stairway.
Oh, they weren't the guards.
They weren't.
They look like guards, but they were all mercenaries. I think.
Yeah, I thought they were 2 different groups.
No, you're thinking of the venturing party that came in to speak to the light.
Because
they're not the people that. They're not the people that. These look. They're dressed in the same mercenary gear at this stage.
Right.
Not at all complicated.
Yeah. My little tiny friend.
Well, anyway, I'm just going to point at you, send you a little sending. So, if we don't do anything, just walk away casually, and they take their weapons out, then they get arrested.
I'm good at that.
That's not a bad idea. And then I think we'll go with what Zeal suggested. You can scream, "It was those bloody kids," and I'm like, "They got my pouch! They stole my pouch!" Like that.
They went that way.
But I'm going to say it the way I would and be like, They've taken my pouch!
With a tear in his eye.
It had a very precious relic in it.
I'm just sort of hiding.
The cheek of them punching you in the balls on the way out as well.
Okay, you gotta make it look authentic.
Punch her in the balls.
No, you know what? Fenner, you'll do the most damage.
15?
Okay. So as you shout that out, one of the mercenaries at first looks around to his other group as if scanning for where the other group might be, but behind him you assume that must be his sergeant. And he just points towards him and goes, "It's bloody him! You bumbling before, get after them!"
And I'm just like...
And at this point...
We
At this point, they begin to...
It's fine, I've got...
What weapons have they got?
So it looks like they've got swords, crossbows, etc. around there, strapped around their...
But have they drawn anything?
At the moment, they haven't drawn anything.
Are they allowed to?
You know what the rules of the city are.
No. Can we shout for the time? Guards! Guards!
To be drawn.
Guards!
Fist fight, baby!
Well, everybody, I've got to cast a spell up below, so let's just
Say
start
anything about
walking.
magic, yeah.
Okay, so you...
Maester can stand off, we're just going to stand there like that.
So you guys, so you're running away. You're standing.
No, well, we're staying here because it's potentially going to be a fist fight. I'm just seeing what's up.
No, I'm just going to make them not want to fight us.
Cool. If you can do that.
Okay, so you're standing there with your
Stand there.
Magic Juju's doing it.
Okay, cool. So
Right there, I'm just standing there.
so you're down in this alleyway at this time.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to wait till they're all nice and close to each other in this cramped, confined alleyway, then slap calm emotions on all of them.
Okay. So
20-foot area.
Okay, so as they get close, you roughly see there's around about 6 of them on the stage. They're all about 5 feet away from each other.
Lovely, love that.
Nothing.
Calm emotions.
Okay.
I'm going to use 3 sorcery points to give them all disadvantage on their charisma saving throw.
Okay.
And then they have to calm the fuck down and not want to fight us. So we can just
Nice one.
skedaddle.
Just lose it.
Okay, so you can see that they begin to their initial rage just begin to calm as you cast the magics towards them. What are the other effects? So other than their demeanour calms, can you suggest? Or is it a case of they just lose their interest in...
I will just double check it. That there is no side effects.
Chronic diarrhea.
Nice.
Oh god! I'm so calm, but my insides are so upset.
Just release my bowels.
Oh god! Oh, my sphincters are opening. No.
No, that's basically it. For 1 minute, they are indifferent to us.
Okay.
I'm just going to use...
Until any of us hit them or hit any of their threat.
I'm going to cast command on their leader and tell him to leave.
Okay. So, as you...
Calm and leave.
Great follow-up.
So they sort of do calm down, they seem indifferent. They begin to... almost questioning why they're actually running after you in a way at that moment in time. And then you're going to cast command?
Yep.
Okay, go.
DC 14, wisdom saving throw.
I knew that was a reason I took that spell.
Okay, so push to 15 then. Roll a 13. So... as you cast out the command, you see for a moment it seems like it's taken effect, and then you see what you can imagine is a sergeant of the group or a captain sort of shakes it off. At that moment, as this was an aggressive act, I believe that would stop the calm.
The calm said leave, I didn't say aggressive, say leave.
But it was still a spell, which is an attack. So
Not an attack. It's
not an attack, true.
But
I'll double check.
Yeah, just see
double
what,
check.
Just see what it goes to.
It specifically states attacked or harmed.
Okay, attacked or harmed. Okay,
I'm down to leave, so
even
that's
though
just not to harm, so-
even though it seems for a moment you think it has taken effect and then it sort of phases off, they still seem slightly they are still indifferent towards you, as they begin to they're kind of still heading your way, but they've slowed their pace down.
Well, they're unsure why they're heading our way. They're
Yeah.
just heading our way.
There just seems to be a confusion about it.
Look at
Go get me some orange sherbet.
So we're just going to try and pass them. Well, yeah, just try and walk past them. If they're indifferent,
Okay, so
What does walk past two hands? Fancy seeing you here.
Yeah. Good day, gentlemen.
So you casually begin to walk towards them.
I'll give them a Fenrir gleaming, friendly smile.
We do the Assassin's
Afternoon,
Creed of
boys.
like blending in, walking along.
Give me a deception roll. Because technically you are such a
Yeah, do deception.
Are we all doing?
Yeah. Oh, 20,
13.
but not natural.
13.
Oh, 20. That's 20.
Nice.
And I've got +1, so I'm 21.
19.
Nice.
so good at lying. 17.
Okay, nice.
everyone's much better at lying than I.
So as you give them a friendly smile, they sort of smile your way, like,
Just passing by in the street.
you haven't seen anyone around here. We're looking for someone.
Oh, it's those children. They went that way.
Yes,
Robbers too.
some children earlier stole my coin pouch, you see.
There was a troll.
Right, right, okay. Cheers, thanks. They begin to head they seem to head towards the direction where you previously had come from.
Awesome.
So there is another road that seems to lead round another corner that you could head towards, or you can head back, but you would be walking with the mercenary girls.
Now we'll go the other way.
Let's leave them.
We'll leave them, I think.
The other way. Bye.
I'm keeping track of how much time I can keep this minute-long spell going.
Okay.
The moment it drops, I'm going to cast Grease behind us.
So once it drops, they will remember everything.
Oh, they'll be instantly hostile again. They will also know he tried to cast a spell to leave. So hostile.
So you begin to. Are you casually walking, dashing, or are you...
Walking, but starting to run.
Building pace.
An energetic walk.
We're starting the running club again.
Power walk.
Also known as a full-on sprint for Norman.
It's like that kind of, you go across the road before the car comes, sort of like,
Sorry.
and then you casually just walk the
Okay, so you begin that casual build, walk, run.
oh shit, I better run. This is the car now.
Was it from couch to 5k or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You and you make a kind of sharp turn then from this alleyway in the opposite direction you'd previously come in, and you turn into various abodes of more residents. That seems to be a lot of these buildings which are sort of stacked between little shanty areas away from the main street. And you casually see various people washing their garments and hanging them over the lines. Even though it's the sort of near the end of the afternoon now, but still in Vivesca, the sun is so hot. It's still a great time to dry linen or clothes of any description for that. Not just linen.
Not just the linens.
I do need a new shirt.
You continue to break the
disguises.
distance a little bit more. It's been around about a minute, and then
What?
you hear. Are you beginning to speed up the run now?
Oh yeah. Grease
So
trap behind us.
Okay, so you begin to increase the run distance as you begin to bound down the alleyway. At this point, you can hear the same mercenaries beginning to shout various curses and obscenities to each other. Behind you. Now you've got a good minute or so on them, and then you take a sharp right, keeping sight of each other as you do, and you spot a horse and carriage that's just back down one of the narrow streets. Then, just sort of barring your way slightly. I need you to give me an athletics test if you're going to continue to run down this.
Is there any open doors or windows as we're running down the street?
So as you're running down this, but it's not a street, it's an alleyway, so there isn't any open doors or windows at this stage. You have a lot of very high walled areas that are going down right now.
I was literally just going to use Fermentology to open a window or a door or slam a door. Distraction.
17.
What are you being athletic?
10.
We're doing athletics.
I'm getting better.
6.
6.
All of a sudden it stretches.
Athletics.
I've run out.
Natural 20.
Wait, you're a half now.
I'm doing fucking cartwheels. This is how you do it.
Oh wait, is that just when you roll ones?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
Okay, so as some of you begin to try and jump over the horse and cart that's just come into view, a few of you attempt to jump, but you bumble and fall and hit Amaryllis, Normand, even Viatora. You kind of hit into the barrels and they spill everywhere. While Fenrir and Zeal, you manage to jump over the horse and cart. You turn around and just see your other compatriots bumble over the barrels. You quickly pull them up by the shoulders and then continue to dash down this alleyway.
Yeah, I'm so used to this. I'll grab Amaryllis, put her on my shoulders. Hold on! Thank you!
You look back then over your shoulders, and you can see that a few of the mercenaries are in the distance, but they now are in the long stretch of the alleyway and are beginning to follow you. Some of the barrels that you bashed into, you notice that some of them managed to actually fall over those barrels as well as their own compatriots pick them up by the shoulder and continue to charge after you.
That on purpose.
Totally.
Yep.
You quickly dash around another sharp corner, then narrowly missing a very plump woman dressed in a heavy variety of purple and red robes that just spills over her very heavy dress. You sidestep just literally at the last minute. Give me another athletics test, please.
Right, come on, Pembo, you got this. You've been doing so well with your
Athletics, not run into the person we see running.
Right, athletic is fuck today.
Me too, man.
19.
Me too.
I run into the woman.
I got 1.
I got 5.
Oh,
but
okay, 5.
I assume that means
I just assume, normally when you say I did this, it's like, okay, you got a 1.
I got
I got a 12.
12, okay.
I got 10.
Yeah, he's alright.
22.
Okay,
Oh, I'm on your shoulders.
Yeah, you're on my shoulders. Yeah, I got 22. I got us covered.
okay, so you're okay.
There's an awful lot of weapons hidden on the back of your neck. A lot of goblin-sized weaponry just strapped to the back of you.
Norman de Vere, as you see the plump woman, you come bashing into her as the rest of you manage to just sidestep.
Alright. I can't sue.
She falls out onto the alley on the alleyway with you, and you can see that as she's fallen, you've also broken free of the alleyway and come kind of like back onto a street. She kind of like falls down, and again you look over your shoulder and you can see that the mercenary guards are still in pursuit. Are you helping them up?
Yeah,
Yes.
pick up the lady and just go, give her a coin later on for it, Anna.
I'll be like, sorry
enough.
I just like,
Okay. Well, you give her gold.
well, no, I probably just got like
chuck it in,
silvers
chuck it
in my
direct.
head.
Yeah, okay, you toss her a few silver
Sorry.
in her hand, and you all manage to get back to your feet and begin to continue to run out
Tell him we
onto
went
the
that
street.
way.
You break for the for that streetway then as you head straight right back into the middle of the trade quarter and the mass of people and the crowd.
Perfect.
Cool.
I'm
No,
gonna
like-
get off your shoulders. So
Yeah,
I'm not,
and I'm gonna bend
obvious.
down a little bit so I'm about the same height as the crowd.
So if you get into
Yeah,
the crowd, you begin to
Yeah,
push and shove your way through the crowd as much as you can to try and break some kind of further distance from you and the mercenaries. What do you want to do?
Where's shops? Is there shops around? Somewhere we can duck
you
into?
can see various market stalls here and there.
I'm thinking more like shop with doors.
So there is no shops with doors, at least not on this stretch of a street. It's a lot of makeshift canopied
is
markets.
there a big stall with a lot of crowd?
Potentially further up the street.
I can just walk with
Is
the
it
crowd.
like 5 hours yet? Can we go back into the pub as if nothing has happened? Because that's what I'm good at.
I think we just walk with the crowd. For a
Yeah,
minute.
just walk with the crowd.
Walk with the crowd.
So you think roughly it's been you're probably on about 3 hours since you're in the tavern. There's still 2 hours to go, but
Okay.
Just walk.
Yeah, instead of like running then, we'll just kind of move with the crowd.
So this is where we do the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, fine.
Just with the
okay.
crowd.
So you still you begin to weave in and out through the crowd. I need you all to give me a stealth test. If you're
Oh god, we're in stealth.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good start.
Wait
That's
a
a good
minute.
start.
What is that?
18.
I think that's a 4.
21.
It was
15?
on its edge.
Okay.
I've got 8.
8.
4. I get on the floor and I cast minor illusion around myself and go in my crate of shame.
The dice rolls are not being kind to you tonight. So those of you managed to slip and throw yourself.
Oh, I'm just gonna be honest, I
into the
took my hat off so it didn't look so like.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously stand out.
I take my adventurer's hat off.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull your
It's like blend in.
pull your coat off and throw it over one arm.
Yeah.
Or maybe put my hood up to hide my obviously beautiful hair.
Jesus Christ, look at that gorgeous man.
You Amaryllis, you look behind your shoulder to see if the mercenaries are still there, and at this point, you come smash face first into an individual with brown leather studded armour.
Uh-oh.
And you literally bash into him. Normand, you're just behind her at this point, and just literally go collide with Amaryllis.
Oh no, I'm
And the individual with the leather armour, he kind of like, better watch where you're going. And you can see that his eyes are scouring around the crowd as if he's looking for someone. You can see at this point, as you kind of correct yourself and look a little bit shocked, you see down the previous alleyway, you can see the mercenaries now feeding into the crowd, and you see one of them point towards the two of you and say, "Get them!" And then the individual who just bumped in goes, "What? Oh, you two! Oh, you're the ones I want."
Grace me!
What do you want to do?
Get some whispers on him.
Punch him in the balls. You down below?
Same intro, please.
This is what is this? This is spell save, isn't it? So is this wisdom?
I can't remember. Head's probably going to explode.
What are you going to do?
Gonna start chanting out in a horrific fucking deep speech, language of aliens and bullshit.
I mean, if I punch him in the
As my
balls,
eyes-
is that gonna help?
As my eyes roll into the back of my head, and
Can I punch him in the...
why can't I suddenly spell?
Sorry, Nabs.
Whispers.
Yeah, you can if you
Yes.
want to make an attack roll.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save, okay.
I'll see what you do first. Maybe I can...
There you are, 3d6.
Yeah, I got 18.
I think that'll be his wisdom.
5 psychic damage.
Okay, 5 seconds. So the individual,
Head spins on the
so
spot.
the individual in front of you clutches his head then, and just begins to he just screams out like, my bloody head! And this gives you, and you're going to punch. Okay, give me an attack roll.
7.
7.
I
Plus
don't think I
strength.
get anything plus...
Plus strength.
Oh, plus strength.
Plus proficiency.
Plus
So that's plus
1... Plus 3, 7, so 10.
10. Okay, you go to hit, and as he's clutching his head, he just sort of swings with one arm, not knowing that you're about to try and hit, but it just sort of breaks your potential impact
Damn.
Well, you're saying
away
you know,
as
he
he's
hasn't got any balls.
sort of flailing his arms in pain at this point. Some of the crowd begin to look on, looking a bit shocked, begin to form a semicircle, at which point the three of you can see this commotion begin to unfold. You can also see the 5 previous mercenaries that have followed you are now feeding into the crowd as well.
So we can see them directly,
Yeah.
and they're like in an open space.
It's not an open space, but it was like a kind of circle of the crowd has begun to form slightly. Give me a perception.
Great first.
Where's the town guard or city guard in all this? Because surely they just can't kick off fighting in the middle of the city for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Anyone here right now? At least give me a perception roll so you can see anything.
Would I still be wearing the
Natural
monocle
20.
or no?
You can't see any guard at the moment, not in this vicinity.
Where's the guard when you could we just have an airship crashing and then turn up then?
Sorry?
Still be wearing the monocle or no?
If you've been running, have you been? Has the monocle been on the whole time?
Well, I didn't say I took it off, but if I've been running and stuff, I don't. It'd be up to your discretion.
Yeah, I'd say as you haven't taken it off and it's been a sort of rush, then yeah, you.
Yeah,
you've
wasn't
still
it
got
like
the
stuffed
monocle
under your goggles?
Okay. Well, if it's still on, I got a 26.
Okay, so you have seen from the from where you've seen your other compatriots, just behind them, you can see another alleyway that seems to be leading. It seems to be leading down away from the main street, where you don't see any of the mercenaries, there's no guards, but that's it almost seems like an escape point for you guys.
Okay, well, I grab Fenrir, I grab Zeal, I'm like, we're heading that way, and I try and get hold of these two, and just and then just.
I'm
Push him
small and
towards.
easily picked up.
Yep,
so
as I
you
run
can
past,
just
I'll grab Amaryllis.
I'll
Back on the shoulders.
I'll just-
Just swing you up and round.
I start rummaging around in my pockets for a very conveniently remembered block of magical chalk that I can use to create various barriers.
Just draw around him, yeah.
Now that we're running towards a cramped, confined alleyway.
Yeah, you could block off the alleyway.
Okay.
Oh, I'm never going to use this fucking thing, so I might as well just use it now.
Okay. So you, so as you all begin to pour through the alleyway and head through the crowd, you quickly take a moment to look around, and you can see the guards heading your direction. They have definitely still caught sight of you, and then you place the chalk. So you're doing it so it's like a line that takes up the because you've got enough to put the length of the alleyway itself. Yeah. Okay.
I'm doing it
Is it
as many times as I can. And
how many?
all of it.
Are you using all the chalk?
Oh, yeah.
So you're just going to do a
I'm
line?
going to use it
line,
again.
line.
I just remember I had it.
Okay. So you're just doing a line there, a line and a line. So I think we said it had enough for, was it 50 feet or something? So
Yes, but you said you got to use like 5 foot minimum.
That's right.
So 10 lines. Ooh.
Okay, so you
try and cock with that?
So nobody's ever getting through there ever.
It's fine.
just
You
keep-
run into it once, that one goes, and you've just got to be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, is it in-
Well, it only
It's
takes
barrier
one
invisible.
hit point, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. that's
so
right.
as you begin to draw the lines,
That's so funny.
are you using all the chalk?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you use all the chalk,
This is when I find out when you use the last one, it explodes into your hand.
or you become the new chalk.
Oh god.
My bones!
Okay, you draw the lines and you head through that alleyway. Then you can hear in the distance a and then you can hear another as you assume that the mercenaries are attempting to come your way.
That's a twerker.
Run.
You continue to head. You head down the alleyway, and then suddenly the alleyway itself, where it seems to be, again, it's high walled. There's not really any windows. It's just a long
Back alley.
alleyway. Yeah, proper back alleyway. And you turn right, and you come to what looks like a dead end.
Another power play.
Locked us in now.
Another power play, if I may, please. Minor illusion, brick wall.
Ah.
So,
So
behind
it just
you.
looks like it's a dead end.
Yeah, so it makes it look like we're...
Oh, so you're ahead of a dead end sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so again, you see Norman around.
How high is this?
So it looks around about 15 feet. You think? Give me a quick perception test, actually.
Is it grapple hook time?
Yes, I was thinking that. 27.
Okay. Wow. Okay. What you see is you see
What is that?
That's the seeing eye crab.
seeing eye crab.
Oh, that's my next character sorted.
The seeing eye crab.
Well, you pull out your pocket and say, "Yes, master." What do you do?
Just slot the monocle over it. It's just like.
Oh, great crab! What
Oh
do you
look, we
see?
got a friend for Jackson.
No, don't let Jackson.
You
play
cast
with
the
that.
cast that illusion then, and you glance into where the dead end is itself, and you can see a few crates, but they're just two empty crates that have been sort of pushed apart. And
Okay.
you think you might be able to pull them on top of each other for a little bit of an extra.
Well, I got a grappling hook.
Yeah, you do.
So,
it's up to that's what you see.
how high is your minor
Only
illusion?
5 first. So
Okay,
it's not
so
gonna work for long.
no, so I
Then
throw.
we'll have to crack.
Yeah, it's just my head.
So I
like-
throw the hook up to see if I can latch onto something. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then do I catch anything?
Okay, so as you throw it
decent?
over, are you throwing it all the way over the gap to see what's on the other side, or are you going to try and hook it on that?
Trying to hook it on the wall.
Yes.
So as you throw it over, it gets to the edge of the wall, and then you hooks in nicely.
So it is on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Feel it's sturdy enough.
I'm going to give it a go. I'm going because they haven't come around the corner yet.
No,
have
you can still hear him a distance.
they? Okay. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try and climb it. Like
acrobatically.
Yeah. Okay, so acrobatically. Okay, go for it.
Not athletically.
No, God.
Acrobatically.
You see how I said?
Can you not just tell the rope to pull you up?
That's a
It's a fucking elevator,
I
isn't
just
it?
go return. I go up with the rope, drop it, and then I just let everyone do that.
Do you want to do that?
Yes.
That's what you want.
Yeah, I literally return, and I go up to it, and then I drop it, and I'm like next.
You literally go flying up.
I'll just hold on to
You see
the
the
hook.
Torum go.
I'll just hold on to the hook.
It's
Okay.
basically
So
a
it doesn't,
Batman
fly
grapple.
off.
That's what it
Okay.
is.
So each of you in turn are going to do the same thing as you.
It's a Batman action. Yeah.
Okay, so you all go. You can see it's like 15-foot drop to get down, but
That's fine.
you just
Hook the other side, and then just.
okay, great. Hook it in, and then you begin to slide down.
And then when it's done, I'm like, return to me.
Return.
I just keep doing this one motion, and I just unhook it, and it returns to me.
Okay, you drop down onto the other side of the wall then, and you can see that you see a way to the east and a way to the west.
Which way's our wagon?
So it looks like it might be to your east.
Okay, go east then.
So each one seems like a seemingly twisted series of concrete and sandstone-laden spirals. You can see adobe-type structures that loom over onto the edge of this, not necessarily a road, but a kind of hidden, a sort of almost like a hidden street of such. It seems very quiet here. Compared to what the trade quarter was like, it seems less travelled, and you can see various wet washing that's just blowing on heated lines again, and you begin to head east. Give me a perception roll.
Everyone's doing that washing today.
Yeah.
Why have I not used
Washing
that?
day.
It's a good day for it.
I just realised I've got basically a thing in my background where I know my way around ceilings. I know where secret passages and stuff are.
That would have been really helpful about 5 minutes
I just
ago.
thought that was
Like, that would have been grand.
Wait a minute, we're in a city!
I know where I'm going! 24.
Okay. So as you begin to step east, and the rest of you are all following, you bring your hand up to stop them. In the east direction, you can hear what sounds like more voices of mercenaries who seemingly are heading up the east side.
West.
There's a spin.
Hello.
You spin around, you head west then, rushing as fast as you can, driving past closed doors of a few humble shanty abodes that are now open, jumping over a crate that had been knocked over previously from who knows what. Half-rotten apples are scattered on the floor, rolling down the incline of the street as you veer upwards. You see a sharp right turn then sends you
Might
into.
be.
Sends
I've
you
just
into.
remembered the crate of fruit.
Oh, you still holding it the whole time? Yeah, of course. It's like miraculously, you still have
the crate of
fruit.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, that box is amazing!
Quickly, everybody, eat a banana! Everybody throw a banana,
I
people!
did that beautiful hurdle over that cart, with.
You just put the box down and then went over it.
Whoop, no worries.
That's
You
how I
brought it with you
How the
when
hell have you still got
snuck
that
into the building.
Yeah,
You just
like-
sat there.
Just shimmying up the corridor with
That's, so when you went into the crowd, this is how you managed to fade in. You had a few people that were trying to buy the fruit off you.
Entire time of just snacking on a pineapple pole.
That would have been such a great deflector as well. No, we're just selling fruit.
Yeah, look at this beautiful.
we're not.
Pomegranates.
Well,
I'm just a lonely fruit salesman.
obviously fruit
I'm just a
salesman
lonely, tall, handsome fruit salesman from the north.
covered in armour.
With a hammer.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful these days.
Makes
Lot
it
of
easier
things
to get the
about.
fruit off the trees.
So
That's my
yeah,
tree whacking hammer.
You continue heading up this inclining street, and then you take a sharp right that sends you into a very small cul-de-sac. You see a very large, almost madrasa-looking building looming into view first. A long set of steps lead up to an immaculately chiselled stone pillars depicting scenes of ancient kings rising up through the ages, holding crowns in outstretched hands, appeasing the gods. The pillars twist and turn, standing either side of a large archway, and there's an old, cracked wooden door half open. Opposite, facing one another, are a set of warehouses in the cul-de-sac with large, rusty locks in place. The rusted chains carry a mix of wind and rain damage, but then you hear behind you the boots and clanking of armour are getting closer, and you can see as the late afternoon is beginning to fade to slightly darker, you begin to see little creeping of torchlights beginning to creep around the corners to your direction. What would you like to do?
What's through the doorway?
Yeah, what's
Go
through
for
You just see an old wooden door.
Go through the doorway.
through the door? Yeah.
Because we haven't got time to undo a lock and a chain.
Boot it.
I'd chuck everyone an apple for energy.
Okay, so you managed to like spill through the open doorway, then rushing inside, still holding your little
Fruit
plate of
delivery.
fruit.
Sorry, I was late. Got me distracted.
Sorry, did anybody order some fruit?
Each of you like gasping and rasping for breath. Then, like, as you turn around to look into the room itself, you see a short man sitting in a wooden wheelchair contraption.
I wanted to talk to that guy.
He quickly wheels over to the doorway and shuts the doorway, sizing you up. And then he ushers you into the gloomy room.
Hello, Ricardo. We can't get you fruit you ordered.
Fruit for you.
You, as you get rushed into this room, you glance about in wonderment. The room was made up of large stone walls, candles flickering in the breeze, and resembled a kind of shop of an obsessive antiquarian.
You alright?
Comes
Get
the
into
coughing
character.
from
Yes.
the old gnome.
Yes.
You could barely move trinkets, keepsakes, mementos, and trophies.
Sounds like my house.
Sandy, curling age, old maps were piled high on a wooden desk,
Contain yourself.
scattered with compasses, quills, and all manner of nautical and route-finding apparatus.
Oh, being told is like,
You see one of the nearby tables begin to rage. Dangling from the ceiling was a lantern, glowing and flickering as...
what do you think of as a goblin?
Oh no!
I found him for you. He's right there.
nothing like a little drop.
To quench the thirst.
Fucking
Yeah.
dick. Fucking
Is that good? Does that really quench the thirst?
Sparkling water, mate. It's best.
Oh, lovely. Sounds lovely.
Sparkling.
He's pink.
Refreshing.
Dangling from the... I'm glad you're okay. Dangling from the ceiling was a lantern, glowing and flickering as fire sprites buzzed its wings in irritation of being held captive in the glass prison. The faint light lit up the walls of the room, giving way to trophies of taxidermist heads of monsters you'd never encountered before. One with mandibles, another with ferocious fangs bigger than your very arm, and another that dripped with tendrils, huge ruby red eyes staring back at you. A row of blades of all different shapes and sizes covered the far wall. Exquisite vases standing on pedestals of grey stone proudly were emblazoned with plaques reading their origin and where they were found. Other pedestals and display pieces seemed to be devoid of the artefacts they once proudly displayed. Cobwebs cluttered the rafters, and the occasional rat you can see in the distance skittering and darting away as you had a chance to properly lay eyes on it.
Bet that rat's rare.
It's a rare rat.
High above you on an ornate golden plaque, weathered and dusty, but still just about visible, you can see copper-tinted gold chiselled letters that read relics and antiquities, finders of treasures most profound. After a few short moments, your heart still pounding in your chest, you hear a clamber of plated feet, a few murmurs of irritation as torchlights are cast, creeping just beneath the doorway you hid within. Then you hear a shout that can be heard off in the distance. "Over here! I think they went this way!" The heavy booted feet quickly begin to pound against the stone floors as your would-be pursuers head off into the night, or the encroaching night. No doubt still in search of your whereabouts. You hear the creaks of the wheels rotating on the old rusted axis points of the wheelchair. When the sight of the familiar gnome you peeked at earlier in the meeting chamber, he offers you all a warm, welcoming smile, leaning over his chair to reach for his pipe, just slightly out of grasp.
Why, thank you. If you'd be so kind as to pass me my pipe.
I heard his name, didn't I?
He did.
What was it? Was it
Van Dubious.
Van Dubious?
Fizzlewick. Or Mr. Fizzlewick.
Van it is. Yes, no problem. Mr. Fizzlewick, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it.
He takes his pipe, then filling it with tobacco as he lights it, looking each of you over. And he with his wrist, he just flicks it slightly as a little tiny flame darts out of the tip of his finger.
Oh, nice.
And he begins to ignite with tobacco.
Let's get a look at you all then. Yes, I assume you were the ones that spotted.
No, we're just some humble fruit salesmen. Just happen to be in the area.
Would you like a fruit?
Give me a deception roll.
Oh, Christ. Oh, wait, no. That was a good deception. Good at it, I think. Yeah, +3.
6.
18.
Oh, nice. 15.
I'm very convinced we have
We're doing good today, Zero. We're doing good.
10.
I can understand why you're lying. I never forget a face. I knew you were there. I may not have seen you. I have a sense about me.
That makes no sense. You never forget our face, but you never saw us. So
I have my ways.
So, do you want to buy some fruit?
I'll pass in the fruit.
Banana.
If we were the people that you thought we were, why protect us?
Well,
I have my own interesting...
he hasn't protected us quite yet.
Oh no, he has.
He's given us shelter.
Yeah. He easily could have had some weirdos run into my house, but he didn't.
They're in here.
He closed the door.
True, yes.
I have some interesting questions to ask you. That's why I bid you in my home and got rid of them.
I reckon he wants to know why you almost killed his fish friend.
Yes, probably. That is a question.
Was he even there when you killed his fish friend, though? Because you'd wheeled out.
Yeah, he actually had.
hadn't you?
Yeah.
But you must have heard it.
Yeah, probably.
Now that you've said that, and yet he does give you a puzzled look.
My fish friend?
Fish friend?
Yes, the rather large fellow that was in the tank.
I'll commend him.
His tank broke.
Terrible accident. Water went everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say that's upset me. If anything, you probably done me a favour. So...
I'm the guy selling the tanks.
Well, you made yourself some interesting enemies. How long have you been in town?
Like 3 hours.
Ah.
Not long.
Yes.
Can I just say, what a lovely town. We go here, terrorism, now we're being chased, got mud,
We've had a friend kidnapped.
friend kidnapped,
Lovely fruit, though.
covered,
Met all of you, though.
Covered in
That's
sweat.
quite nice.
Yeah, we have made a new friend. We have made, there's one nice person in town.
She's
Two.
really
Yeah, we're not liable
short.
for whatever she's done before us.
Yes,
met her.
it's been rather an interesting morning. If I'm.
And we saw a cow standing on its back legs.
Did see a cow standing up.
Yeah.
A cow? on its back legs?
Oh yeah, it was a
It was a
minotaur.
minotaur.
Let's see.
Norm's new to these parts.
You're...
I'm Norm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I'm Van Dubious Fizzlewick. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Boozle for boozles.
So, if no one sent you, what were you doing in the Chamber of Debate?
Some little bastard stole his money.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
actually
he was
a strange
chasing-
Little
coincidence.
bastards.
Yeah, some little kids grabbed his pouch and he was going after him to finish it off.
Yes, I've heard of the little pickpocketing bastards out there.
Yeah, they ended up leading us straight into that building, where it seems like they ditched the pouch, maybe out of fear from getting slapped into next week.
What if they were trying to lure us there?
Maybe.
Yeah. He sort of taps his pipe on the table then and just sort of leaves it just on the side, still burning, but
Next to all the maps, yes. Nice
Oh, well, there's several process treasures gone up in flames.
Well, that is interesting. You certainly stumbled onto my little debate then, hey? Forgive me that you may have seen me at my worst.
You looked really embarrassed.
Yes, I had better standing at one point than this. I am the guildmaster of where you stand now, relics and antiquities. What you stand in was once one of the grandest museums in all of Dedisla. I used to employ a lot of people. I assume you said you've been in town for three or 4 hours. You outsiders. Do you know how Vulveska works here?
No.
From what we've gathered, there seems to be a class scheme of some type. So the wealthy live on the higher tiers, and there are the dregs where the unfavoured live.
So where you step now, we are known as the Beneath. To those up there, I came from there, up in the skies.
So did we. We fell out of the sky as well.
We were in an airship crash.
I mean, why are you?
An airship? You really have been through some troubles, haven't you?
Say the least, yeah.
I came from the Sky Cities, not necessarily the skies. And they, let's just say they soured on some of my ways up there, and I was cast out. Apparently, I was too helpful to the people here, which is the Beneath, as the high-risers used to call them. And as usual, jealousy and money were my worst enemies. So I rebuilt. I contracted this museum to be erected, and I had one goal. Relics and Antiquities was to be a collection of some of the most prized possessions in all of Vulveska for the public to see. I didn't want the rich to be the only ones who got to see this.
Well, that's certainly a noble goal. Say the least.
So we're allowed to just touch everything, right?
Don't touch. Some of these are priceless.
It's a museum, Norm. You're supposed to just look.
It's my belief that the common people deserve the right to witness the wonders of our world. If we can instill hope and wonder in young, bright minds, no matter their background, whether they're from Beneath or the Sky Cities, then maybe, just maybe, we can all work together to make Vulveska a better place for us all. Uncheck all the chains of our Sky City masters, so to speak.
Let me guess, that's the philosophical debate you had between them and they didn't agree.
Yes, that is why I was thrown out here. We had differing opinions. For a time here, this worked so well. There was no organization before I came along, and we procured the interest of treasure finders, mercenaries, and anyone trying to appease the masters in the sky. I called it a relic finding guild. And slowly more began to open up across Judista. Despite my old stature, I am a lot older than I may look.
How old?
Well, that was over 100 years ago.
That's pretty old.
You're old.
Oh, yes, I am very old. I have watched Judisra prosper into the city it is today, and but for the life of me, I've never seen a more greedy and selfish hive of scum gather in one place, vying for one thing: gold.
Oh, and water. That seems to be the other thing you lot seem to be fighting over a lot.
Well,
We'll have water with a roar for like half hour.
water is a commodity. Water creates gold. The only reason water is locked away behind closed doors is because it makes people money.
Yeah, we've seen our fair share of that.
I worked with another guild master called Brandt. He ran a former guild called Fortunus. We had a good, solid working relationship. Then the man that you saw, Zalai, happened. Eramastro Zalai, to be exact. He rose to prominence from the dregs.
Worked his way up, did he? And,
Yes, nothing but a cheap drug pusher. Somehow he had a hold over certain individuals in the city, and he was able to bring his own relic society into prominence, which he now calls Relic Industries.
catchy name.
Yes.
Industry.
And that's when things went downhill. Zalai began to offer bounties for groups to hunt down key artifacts. The other guilds came together to govern the situation. Myself and Brandt demanded he cease his operations at once and adhere to a strict code. We had both set out long ago. He leans to his pipe and takes another puff. We usually vetted all potential relic finders, so we knew we could trust them. Well, to a degree at least. We never hired mere criminals to do our bidding. They had no grace, no acumen when handling ancient treasures from a bygone era. So I flatly refused to cooperate, and we attempted to put a stop to him. Brandt marched with his own men, and I'm ashamed to say I kept my head low out of fear. I'm a purveyor of history, not a war general. But Zalai had planned ahead. Somehow he bought Brandt's own men against him with coin. No one's ever seen Brandt again. Fortunus crumbled, and Zalai took a foothold in the antiquarian society. And one by one, my own hired help drifted to the employ of Zalai. And now I'm shunned when I think I have come up with a new lead. You see, Zalai is a scrupulous individual who believes he can win favor with the Sky Cities and become one of them. Such a fool. Every piece of history he finds is handed to them.
So he's trying to buy his way up there.
Exactly. Even godlike relics he finds. Every device that could help the people here is instead handed to them up there. So that's just how things are here.
Sounds pretty shit, if you ask me.
It seems like you've come at the wrong time.
Yeah. Did we overhear you talking about something you were seeking? The
Egg of Kamundo.
the egg of Kamundo.
The turkey that
Was it
makes all
the
the
eye of-
water for everyone.
The eye of Gahanda?
Gabunga bunga.
The Eye of Kahanda.
I was close.
Yes. Yes. So, speaking of water, That's who you shot. Orkamentum is the guild master of the Water Guild here.
Ha! Nice.
Yes.
Quite ironic there.
Bye.
You may have made an enemy this day.
No wonder it was all the water. He's got to take a bath all the time.
Yes, that's right.
What the hell's
Yes.
a merfolk doing in the middle of a desert?
Hogging all the
Your
water.
guess is as good as mine.
Seems a bit odd if you ask me.
He's been here for some time now.
Floating around.
We ain't floating today.
Floundering from here to there.
As for the Eye of Kanda, the ancestors who lived in this godforsaken place before even the Sky Masters built their commonwealth left a manuscript speaking of this very jewel. It's a grand red ruby. The legends say that it bears a semblance to a giant dragon's eye. He rolls himself then to away from where he was speaking with you towards a desk with various scattered documents, candles burning as you see little hot wax dripping from just onto some of the parchment. There's an ink pot and spilled ink, magnifying glass and maps litter what you assume was once the welcoming area of the museum. And he comes back with some of the parchment then wheeling back your way.
Here. What I discovered is that a location out there in the very wastes possibly has the first clue as to where the Eye of Kahunda can be found. Do you want to know why it's more than a fancy priceless jewel?
Because the reason we just said can
Yes,
get all the water everywhere.
Yes.
Very important.
Well, there's something I didn't entrust to the society members. Yes, I spoke of the water. I knew that they would... Well, I hoped to pique their interest, but didn't necessarily seem to...
You said it was a key.
Yes.
Key to something else, huh?
I believe it's attached to a device here in Jerusalem.
Right.
As to what, I can't be sure. I need to do more research, but the ancient scripture I found suggested... now look here. And he pushes some of the parchment over and begins to point at some of these ancient texts. It's Verusumian, nomadic people who built the first foundations that would become Vurveska during the dawn of man. It says that the dragon's eye will offer sustenance to the children of the great ones. Now, I know you're not spies for other societies. I know you're just unfortunate people that have come on this unfortunate times. But I did save your hides from those thugs. How about you work for me?
So is he in a? So he's in a wheelchair, is he?
You're going to shoot out the wheelchair.
You gonna shoot him?
Wow. Go to sleep.
Go sleep. No. I walk round it because there's maps on that table, isn't there? I walk round him and just like I'm just going to glance over the maps and see if they're like not familiar. Just if I sort of
see if they're bullshit or not.
yeah. In essence, see if they're
Fakes.
what I would class as something a cartographer would have done, or something that someone would have just written down for a story, if that makes sense.
I want to see if they're legit, basically.
Investigation and actually no,
History,
history.
15?
Okay. Looking over the various maps and documents, these do look like genuine ancient documents.
Just like very old maps.
They're like very old maps. They're cartographers, but not quite as technology breakthrough. Maybe rather than using curvatures and coordinates, it's a bit more basic than that. But yeah, they do look like ancient maps. Actually, more ancient than you've ever actually seen on a map before.
Okay.
So I guess you want us to find this.
Well,
Fergie?
well, you've heard my trepidation. I have no one. And everyone has shunned me, and I can't offer much. I have sold the last real relic I had, worth of any value, to give enough gold to replenish some funds towards this excavation. I was hoping the society would back me in my pursuit, but alas, I was turned down as I had feared. Zalai will now be scheming how to find out what I know. I don't want it to fall into his greedy hands. I can offer you each 5 gold a week as pay, but you'll get 40% of all treasure and relics you find. And as much as it pains me, we may need to sell some of them now towards the rest of our pursuits. But it would go to a good cause and mean you have more money in future. I understand that's how the world works here now.
How much is this eye worth?
Prices.
So you wouldn't be selling it?
No, my idea is to use it for something here in the city.
If this thing works like you say it does, then it'll pay for itself, essentially.
If we can feed the whole,
that's what I mean.
The whole city of thirst,
eliminate
then yes.
hunger and
not gonna lie, the infinite water sounds like it's worth it enough. Like,
put the water guild out of business, would it not?
yeah, that'd be really funny.
Yes. Yes, we would no longer have to contend with this blasted water guild.
He isn't my biggest fan at the minute anyway, if I'm honest, so I'm not overly worried.
That's a good point.
You said there was a weapons rack as we went in. Stuff stood up, like different blades and things.
Yeah.
Is there anything that is actually like a usable weapon, or is it more ceremonial?
So a lot of the pieces that he seems to have look ceremonial.
Okay.
No, there's not an AK-47.
No. Clashing God.
There's like an old ancient blade, but it looks like it needs to see some work at a blacksmith to be usable.
To be anything.
Oh, I know a blacksmith.
Well, the only thing I would ask is before we make this journey, we could rather do with, we got to see someone about tracking down one of our lost friends, and we could do with getting some rations and some other equipment ready for that. Is there somewhere that you would suggest we get?
I'm assuming you got contacts, right?
Yes,
Do
I
you
know some
anything
contacts.
about a wagon that would have twin wolf heads on it?
Wolf heads.
Ring any bells to you?
There is a baron that is sometimes frequents the dregs.
Baron?
Who's that?
Baron of kind.
Sorry, Baron of...
As in like a proper baron?
Not exactly been proven, and I've not got too close to him to tell. But yes, from what everything points to, yes, he a proper baron, I assume.
Baron of...
That's for what he is.
Oh, of a kind.
Yes.
Right, okay, sorry. I thought it was of place.
Is he known for kidnapping people?
Those from the dregs, you never know. I do have something we could possibly use if you agree to work with me. I think you'll be better off in the city if you had a benefactor.
I just thought that we already agreed, considering you told us everything.
Yes, I
You
think
seem to have kind souls.
I think we're all in agreement that the.
I don't know. I think the fruit business is looking pretty good at the moment.
Lava.
Just ran it around the sea.
But I'm for a career change.
Yeah, I think. I think you might have the backing of the Jackson 5.
It seems like a nice change to be working for someone with definitive nice morals as opposed to very questionable ones.
We should probably tell you we're not actually fruit salesmen, we're adventurers.
Oh, that's fantastic. I had not gathered.
In fact, you may have heard of us as the heroes of Odeska.
I actually laughed. it's like I just turn back to my maps as you.
We already returned water to a place. It's like we're already good at it.
Man.
Now we can do it even better.
I have heard of what happened in Adeska. They have you to thank.
Hang on a second, we just had a run. Should we be asking for more? Because he's already heard of us.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
He gave me a smack on the back of the head.
Upselling, yeah.
I'll tell you what, 8 gold pieces a week, you got to do.
Is that for each of us, or is that as a group?
It would be each. 8. We do calculations. Yes, I think that could be agreeable.
We should have asked for 10.
No, let's not squeeze the old man dry. Let's, yeah, okay.
So,
Deal.
if we were to look into provisions and things, is this something that you could procure?
Yes, I can.
He wheels his chair around then.
I only have one question, and then I'll tell you everything you want.
He spins in his wheelchair then, facing you, Fenrir, and he points his pipe towards you.
What is that inside your robe?
And that's where we're going to hold it.
Wow, frightened baby.
And you're just like, just unzip. They call him El Blanco Basiliska. It's like, oh God! I can smell it as you came in.
I call them squiggles, but that was quite a personal thing.
Not going to lie, I thought you were running with 3 legs earlier.
Hang on, those blokes in the toilet were for you, didn't they?
It's like, I've just got one last question. And he just like pulls the door over, and there's just a hole drilled through it. He's like, do you play the game?
It's been so long since I've had the company of a strapping young man.
Oh, don't ruin the old man for me.
Too late. There's a reason why he's in a chair.
Yeah, easy access is blown out.
Yeah. He's got his back blown out, bless him. Well, that was a giggle.
Wasn't it just?
Quite the adventure.
I honestly...
I've never had to cast so many spells to not kill anyone before.
I think that's the first time I've cast a spell.
What,
in this whole thing. I think it's the first time I ever cast a
And I
spell.
witnessed it.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Then you run and go, oh yeah, I can do magic.
Oh yeah, I've got
I know about cities.
It didn't seem relevant at the time.
Fenrir did so weirdly great on all of his rolls this time. Obviously,
New dice.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was weird.
Don't let David touch them, they'll be cursed.
Yeah,
damn
it's
right.
that lucky crate of fruit. As soon as I picked that up, I was just like a
It's all the vitamin C. You're like,
Just
straight through those
proximity.
alleyways. Yeah,
proximity
like a
to the
gazelle.
Okay, well, with that in mind, we'll have to say goodbye to everyone.
Alright.
Like and subscribe and whatever.
Give us some money.
Please subscribe, like the channel, really helps. It helps us a
Keeps our
lot.
fruit business
And
going.
we hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Keeps our
Keeps
children
our
in
side
fruit.
business of fruit hustle.
Remember to
fruit
eat
has-
5 a day and
Yeah.
drink plenty of water.
yeah. Oh.
You know, until it's all privatised and we have to fight for it.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Stay safe. See you next time.
Bye.
Channel Devonity.